Somebody's getting fired.
It's Friday. It's Friday.
Hey, happy Friday to everybody.
Time to get offended.
Hello, everybody.
Hey. All right, we're recording this bastard on 6/12. It's Sunday, but yeah.
Yep.
And I guess we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
the
we
state
got
of the
some
world and
funsies.
things.
Yeah. So first
Oh,
things
yeah.
first.
First things first. SweetLivesPodcast@gmail.com. Also, find us on Spotify, Sweet Lives Podcast. And like, share, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications.
Yeah.
And
Ding, ding, ding.
And send all your questions and comments and insults into the comment section or direct via email and, whatever. Yeah. Maybe we'll get, maybe we'll read them one day. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey.
Anyways. And then maybe Twitter, too. We'll be on Twitter.
Yeah, no. Twitter's going to be next week. Okay. I'm going to have it all done. I actually allotted time to make sure I get it done then.
Oh, good. Because that'll just be your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
I share it on everything else. You just do it on Twitter.
Yeah, I'll just be like, hey, everybody, you should go check this out. Okay, bye.
Pretty much. Happy Friday.
Yeah.
Bye.
It's like, hey, this one person said something. Or
right.
Maybe nobody did. Who knows?
Anyway, check it out, because there's 74 million podcasts.
Yep. Hey, cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Here's to being part of the 74 million.
Here's to our corner.
Yeah. Mermaids and unicorns.
Mermaids and unicorns and other kinds of magic things.
Kind of like our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It's mythical and magical.
It is. Does it exist? Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. You have to listen and find out.
On the ones and twos. All right.
Yeah. Hey, either way, we're getting pretty good at broadcasting.
Right? It's like, hey, coming up to the stage.
Welcome to the show.
Dumbasses and hats. Yeah.
I was thinking, like, when we get art or whatever, just like farm out to somebody on Fiverr. It's like, draw a picture of us.
Yeah. It's like, don't I look cool on my horse? You have a horse? Yes,
I do now.
Yeah. According to this painting, I do.
We'll be riding unicorns, and instead of the rainbow colors, it'll be
we
red, white.
should.
There'll be red, white, and blue unicorns.
I mean,
why not? America.
I mean, there's a couple. Hey, two of those
big
colors.
old cowboy star and yours, and you'll have to get permission. But yeah.
I mean, what is it? Is it technically a cowboy star? I mean, do they don't own all the stars?
True.
I mean, what about the Dallas Stars?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, or the Minnesota North Stars before they moved down to Dallas. Yeah. So, I mean, there's stars everywhere. There's billions of stars, trillions, a Googleplex of stars. Yeah. I didn't even know that was a number. Somebody told me that, and I was like, oh, that's lies.
Googleplex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yep. Now, yeah, I mean, that would be cool.
Is that a unit of measurement for stars?
I don't know if it's stars. I think it's a unit of measurement for just numbers. I think. I don't know. It sounds,
Maybe that's where the search engine got their name.
I don't know. Who?
Google.
Oh.
Did you say Googleplex or did you say Gigaplex?
Or maybe it's Gogaplex.
Could be Gigaplex.
I don't think it's Gig. I think it's Goga. Okay. I mean, honestly, I don't want to cheat and look, but I'm gonna. So I'm gonna try Googleplex and see if that's it. Google.
Before we even get into topics, we're gonna go off on a tangent first before topics.
Okay. Google, so it's Googol. Googleplex.
Googleplex
is the number of 10, or
Googleplex.
equivalently 10 to the Jesus.
Well, I'm gonna somehow
to the 10,100th power.
Okay.
Holy shit!
I'm so gonna work that into our title, like I do with everything.
Dude, that is so many numbers.
Yes.
Okay, it said written out in ordinary decimal notation. It is 1 followed by 10 to the 100th zeros.
Mm.
That is stupid. No, seriously, look at how many zeros that is.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's an inceptionary It's inceptional. It's inception like exponential.
Yeah. Oh man.
Huh.
Allergies kill me.
So 10 to the 10 to the 100th.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Derivative exponents.
That's like, honestly, I can't even count that many zeros. That's too many.
Yeah.
It's too many.
It's too many. Too many zeros. Too many zeros, buddy.
Dude. Okay, so
too many zeros in there,
the history of it, according to Wikipedia, is in 1920, Edward Kastner's 9-year-old nephew coined the term Googol, which is 10 to the 100th power, and then proposed the further term Googolplex to be 1, followed by writing zeros until you're tired. What the shit?
Hey, striving for greatness, baby.
You know what? I'm going with that's true.
Writing zeros until you're tired.
So it's technically not infinity because you will die at some point.
Yeah.
You're just going to write, dead or tired.
Yeah, you just pass it down to your children.
It's like chess or checkers. Once you let go of the piece, that's it. Moves over.
Right, yeah.
So once you let go of that pin, that moves over.
Yeah.
So I hope you got a good weekend ahead of you.
Or the chalk runs out if you're on a chalkboard.
I mean, chalk doesn't last that long, man.
No, it doesn't.
It's not going to last 3 days straight of just 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0,
Continuum.
0, or Googleplex.
Googleplex.
Yeah.
Googleplex. Googleplex.
Googleplex.
Googleplex.
That's a cool word.
Yeah.
I honestly thought that they lied to me. And I was like, you know what? I don't care if they lied. I'm just taking it.
This episode brought to you by Googleplex.
Really? I thought it was brought to you by Gullible. Dude, that's one thing that even though I have a cynical nature, I mean, I have a bad tendency to be really gullible sometimes. Like, I'll just start believing shit. It's like, you know, whatever. Both sides, even if they say completely.
It sounds reasonable.
Well, it's like, maybe it's like a hopeness factor in there or whatever. But like whenever two people say the exact contradicting things, I'm like, they both sound right. It's like, well, one of them's wrong. Sure, both. Right, wrong. I don't know. I mean, it sounds good. I don't know. It's a bad thing because especially when I don't know something, I'm just like, sounds right.
That's right.
I'm gonna go with it.
That's right.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a problem. It's a problem trying not to just believe everything I hear because it's either I don't believe anything or I believe so much of shit that I have nothing. I have no idea.
Well, here's the thing too. I've started to kind of consider, like narratives are getting pretty strong, and things are moving so quick. And narratives form before everybody has the details, and the story just forms. Kind of like, you know, why we get wrapped up in these crazy news cycles and how, I don't know, everything just kind of becomes a headgum hurricane of information. And I really think that, you know, powers that be kind of take advantage of that to a definitive degree. But it's like... It's kind of weird. I heard, like, because now people are saying that January 6th was the best thing effectively because of outcomes. It's effectively the best thing that happened for the MAGA movement. Because, you know, since the Senate committee on it has basically fallen on its face, like, they got, like, hardly any ratings. Like, relatively no one watched it because no one gives a shit. You know, they're more concerned with like what they're paying at the pump at this point, and basic costs on basic goods and services that everybody uses. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, as long as you get people to pay attention, right?
Yep. So nobody gives a shit about January 6th. It's kind of like the last desperate gasp of the permanent political class. So and I do lump in the establishment Republicans with with the Democrats too.
No one cares.
They got nothing.
Oh, by the way, hey, so what have you heard about those hearings? Like, weren't they having hearings on?
They subpoenaed people that didn't show up, and
insurrectionists.
Steve Allen, who was like one of Trump's campaign advisors. Mm-hmm. I might be getting his name wrong. I'll have to look him up, but
okay, one of those.
That guy. They subpoenaed him. He refused to show up, and they literally sent federal agents to his house to arrest him.
Well, I mean, if you're getting subpoenaed, you have to show up. That's kind of how.
But it's not a court. If if it's
wasn't mandated by the court for the subpoena.
No, it's not a court. It was the hearing was in a House committee.
It was in a Waffle House.
It was a committee. Yeah, it's not a federal court. It's not.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's different. A precursor to a federal court thing, but it's kind of like seeing if they're going to get any traction. That's kind of what it's for. It's their last ditch effort to do something without actually doing anything to help the country. So,
I honestly think, even though, like I told you, I believe so much shit on both sides, and it's kind of hard to just whatever. Yeah. Anyway, let's go off of that. Because, I mean, I'm not a flip-flopper. I'm just like, that shit sounds good. Oh, yeah, that's pretty good, too. It's like, so what are we talking about over here? So, the Rangers? Yeah? No? Oh. Okay. No, but, so I just, as much as I, believe a lot of shit, there's so much shit that just, like, even if it's true, it's like, I don't fucking believe that shit. And it sucks. Because I start listening to, like, this whole January 6th thing.
Yeah.
Right?
I didn't pay any attention to
And no, I mean, on both sides, I'm just listening to
I watched what happened from people who were there,
Well, when people are like, oh, this is such a good part of this movement, like not just January 6th, but, just whatever bullshit that comes down the pipe. And the other one's like, well, no, you're such a I don't know, whatever, just insert what kind of name that you are for a sucky, shitty person.
Yeah.
Like, you people are the worst. I'm like, dude,
y'all attacked your side attacked our democracy.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just...
First off, it's constitutional republic.
Well, what gets me is that I don't believe shit that comes from either one of the sides because I think that there's too much agenda on both sides. And so it's like, hey, man, I don't really believe shit that's coming out of either one of your mouths. And it sucks because I know which one I want to believe.
Yeah, that guy Ray Epps, who just happens to be a federal agent.
Oh, the guy that was coercing people to go in.
And then the police just kind of let them in. Security wasn't heightened that day.
Yeah, and
after it was requested.
And he was a MAGA man.
But he wasn't.
I know.
He was playing one. He had the outfit on.
I may not be a MAGA, but I play one on TV.
Antifa was there too.
Yeah, what were they doing? I don't see them breaking shit. That's out of their norm.
Is it?
I mean, unless
is
they're
it
the
out of
ones
their
who
norm?
actually...
Is it out of their norm to smash shit?
No, I said them not smashing shit.
Oh, right. Well, yeah. I mean,
unless they were the ones who were infiltrating the dummies. Because I mean, let's be honest.
I mean,
most of the people that were like running in there, they're not smart characters. Because it's like
grandma waving flag, and then the Q shaman.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I was just
wearing war paint, and
just watching it like the end of the
buffalo
storm,
hat,
and I'm just like, you don't understand how bad that looks for all Republicans, right?
Yeah,
it's like you're making Republicans look real terrible.
Yeah, you did what they wanted us to do.
Yeah, it's like they just showed up. I'm like, hey man, are you really the people I want representing? Like this? I mean, is that the move?
I don't know. We'll understand in hindsight when we have perspective just how big of an impact that day had.
Well, true. But the thing is that I don't know because I mean the security thing is another thing. It's kind of like
so much sketchy shit.
It's like the Uvalde stuff that you just more that keeps coming out. It's like, dude, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, I know. Oh, and before it, the Buffalo shooter the week prior.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, crazy shit.
Oh, by the way, what happened to that?
Apparently, he was also having chats with a retired federal agent.
No, I heard yeah. I mean, I said yeah, but I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. The Buffalo shooter? What happened there?
Yep. That was a dude he opened fire in a grocery store.
Nope. Didn't even hear about that one.
Yep. It happened the week prior. Or 2 weeks prior.
Do you think that every time that there's a you know what? I'm not going to go there.
Okay.
No, because that just...
I mean, I could...
No,
I can tell you definitively what I think.
I think that
where my instincts are with it.
It just seems like a bad road to go down.
Why?
No, it's just
it's horrible.
Yeah,
it's horrible to think about it.
Let's not think about school shootings. Let's just talk about shootings in general. Because I don't want to put that out there.
Remember we talked about going postal in the last one.
Yeah, but I was talking about like. It seems like every time people start having enough of bullshit, something tragic happens. And maybe that's a conspiracy thing. Maybe it's not.
Honestly, I think
I don't know, but it's just like whenever people are like, "Hey, you know what? This government's really starting to turn into a piece of shit. National tragedy." It's like, what the fuck, man? We were just getting pissed about the right thing for once.
Yeah.
And now we're fucking talking about some other shit. Yeah, you see what happened? See what happened? It's like, and then all the finger. No, it's you. No, it's you. No, it's you. It's like, okay, cool. Can we get like, let's move. Let's not just not. I'm not talking about just moving on, but like once we get past this tragedy and we put, we do what we need to do to like give respect to everything, and we got to get back on topic and go back to like figuring this shit out. Now, once we get there, is there going to be another tragedy?
I don't know, man. I imagine we'll see a tragedy every 2 weeks until we hit November.
Yeah, but
because it's election season.
Yeah, but what happens after that? Then let's say it goes all in the Republicans' favor. Then it starts. Then the tragedies
their office doesn't go into effect. The new elected people, their office doesn't go into effect until January.
Okay, well, I'm talking about. I'm saying after that, like
after they get elected,
everybody's in place and shit keeps happening like every couple weeks. Then what? Then I mean that theory's like for me is out the window.
We have yet to see.
I don't know.
We'll just have to see, man.
Yeah.
I mean, but okay, here are the facts. The facts are, although the news never covers this, but you see the cities, Chicago being one of them, L.A., other cities, Washington, D.C., where you have the strictest gun control laws.
Yeah. I heard
that's where the most gun crime happens.
Oh, New York too.
New York too.
Chicago and New York, I think, have some of the highest.
Yep. That is a definitive fact.
Yeah, but the thing is that like Chicago's been a fucking shit show when it comes to gun control and all. Not just gun control, but like gun violence.
Yeah,
forever. Yeah, since like Al Capone.
Yeah. It's been a crime-ridden city for a long time.
Yeah, it's like, well, this is a Democratic problem. I think it's been pretty much a whole U.S. problem.
Yeah,
it's like because it's the same shit I keep hearing from like random, podcast people or whatever. Whenever I'm listening to some other bullshit, if I'm not just listening to stupid shit, it's like, how do we keep having all this money to go to other shit and other people and other countries, but we can't fix it? Like, and not just like for right now. I'm talking about for the last 50 years, 60 years, ever since we got back from World War II in Korea. After that, which the whole Korea thing, I need to look into because I don't really understand it. Like, I kind of know what happened, but I really fucking don't at the same time.
It's referred to as the Korean conflict.
Yeah,
it's like one of those interim wars.
It's like, and we were there, and we were like, did we help? I don't fucking know.
Right?
Did we do anything? I don't know.
I think
like my stepdad's.
I think my great uncle. Nope, that was World War II. Yep.
Yeah, my stepdad's dad was a colonel. I don't know if he was a colonel at the time. He ended up being a colonel, like a full bird. But he was an officer in Korea.
I think
well, maybe whatever rank he was in Korea and he fought in Korea. And honestly, I really wish my curiosity stemmed out then, so I could actually ask questions like, what exactly do we do? Because like you think about World War I, you know what happened. World War II, you know exactly what the fuck happened. Yeah. Everybody knows it's been documented 5 billion fucking times. There's 1,000 different movies on
narrative.
Vietnam, complete bullshit.
Yep.
Had no business being there. It was all fucking lie. The Gulf of Tonkin, all that crap. It sucked.
All of it similar, not exact, but similar to Iraq as well.
Yeah, but which one? Both.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, 1 and 2.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, the first one was definitely bullshit, and then the second one.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like Desert Storm and Desert Shield. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, can we stop setting fires
Operation
because we
Iraqi
want other
freedom.
people's shit?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's stop setting fires in other people's countries just because we want their shit.
Can we just
talk about coveting?
Can we be fucking energy independent for a decade or two?
Or you know what? Can
we just embrace nuclear energy already?
Can we just hug it out?
If y'all love electric cars so much, can't you just talk to your local state representatives and say, hey, yeah, we should start approving leases for nuclear energy? Because you know what? We got the technology to handle the shit now. You want to put the volatile chemicals in the fucking battery packs and put them in your cars and drive them around. Yeah, that's great. But you don't want to embrace nuclear?
Yeah, which is the most cleanest and safest, effective energy there is.
Oh, yeah. And
it's like, hey, we have one bad example. It's like, okay, well, guess what? We keep producing guns left and right, and there's a million bad examples of getting misused. So it's like, hey, man, there is more There's
With the
more,
one time.
hold on, wait. There is more incidents with flamethrowers than we had nuclear meltdowns. You want to hear how ridiculous that is?
That's a volatile weapon right there.
Yeah,
buddy.
it's like, but yeah, there's more incidents of those than actual nuclear meltdowns. So what the fuck are we
have
talking
a
about?
flamethrower problem in this country.
There is. It was an epidemic of flamethrowers.
No one should ever be allowed to have a flamethrower ever.
I mean,
Although you can make one at your house.
I mean, you can if you have the will and energy. And
Maybe
smarts.
there's something in that. Maybe that is it's like, okay, yeah, take away their guns. We're just going to make different types of weapons.
You know, I'm not going to shoot you. I'm going to burn your house down.
I'm going to take a slingshot. I'm going to put a grenade in I'll put a homemade grenade in it.
Yeah.
And fucking just launch it over into the nearest supermarket. And that will be the next best strategy.
Oh, my God.
And then they're just going to outlaw fucking slingshots.
Slingshot murders. You know how...
We need slingshot control in this country.
There has to be. There has to be. How many families are affected by slingshots every year?
Oh,
it's
laughing in the
it's
darkness.
not a people problem. It's not a mental health problem. It's a slingshot problem.
Right?
I moved. I want to send a motion to ban wrist rockets.
Right. Oh man, slingshot industry's gonna be pissed.
Oh my God, they're
You're
gonna
have
come after us.
slingshot lobbyists. What a circus, man.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But that's a pretty good metaphor though. I mean, just, we need to ban extended magazines
on
on
slingshots.
slingshots.
Hey, no more than 5 rocks
No more
and
than 5
a
rocks.
holster.
no satchels.
No. Oh my God. That's like having like a canister mag.
Yeah, right.
Can't have that. It's just bad news for everybody. You're gonna affect tens and tens of people every year.
Yes.
Oh, hey, no Full Metal Jacket rocks.
Yeah, no ball bearings.
No shit. Yeah, it's bad news. You remember that movie? I think it was it Navy SEAL? No, it was like Honor or that movie made by Navy SEALs. Not Warrior. Savior. No. I can't remember what it was, but it was an entire movie just made like with Navy SEALs in it, and they had it was a fiction thing, and they had this. They run around. They have this big story, and it's a good story. It's good. Like I like it. I like the movie. But like, you know, the protagonist in
Was it called Navy SEALs?
No. That's what I thought it was. I was like, not Charlie Sheen.
The mullet.
What was it? Medal of Honor? Medal of Valor?
Might have been.
Maybe Medal of Valor?
I don't
Maybe.
know. I haven't seen that.
I don't know. Whatever. If you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So anyway, the protagonist in this, what they were doing is they were filling up a van full of fucking ball bearings and then blowing them up and just in high like populated areas.
They make a lot of IEDs out of that shit, right?
Yep. Yeah. So like that, just the thought of that, I'm like, man, ball bearings no fucking joke, dude. Yeah. That shit.
Solid metal ball.
It's like, hey man, I'll take a guy with an Uzi any day than a fucking van full of ball bearings. Fuck that. How you fighting that?
It's a blap.
Dude, unless you're fucking Neo from the Matrix, man, you ain't getting away from that motherfucker.
Can't dodge it, man.
Yeah, dude. Like if you're standing and like 10 feet from the van, it's gonna incinerate you.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna fucking make you Swiss cheese into nothing. It's like fuck, man. It's like standing inside the fucking refrigerator with tannerite.
We're speaking hypothetically. Don't flag us,
Yeah.
Susan Wojcicki, or Wazowski, the CEO lady of YouTube.
Oh yeah, no. But I'm just saying that's like that shit right there. That's bad news. I mean, I'll tell you again. I'll fight a flamethrower over that shit. I don't know, man. So,
speaking of Navy SEALs in military fiction, looks like July 1st, the new terminal list is debuting on Amazon.
I saw it, and it pisses me off because I can't watch it for 9 days. I'll be with my kid on vacation on July 2nd. So that's fine. I mean, I'll give it a week. Yeah. I mean, I've gone 2 weeks without reading Jack Carr's book just because I was trying to get through our Karl Marx bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I could wait a week. you know, and then plus, not only that, she'll be with her mom, and I'll have
some dad time.
I'll have some, you know, time to get that done.
Have some Greg time.
Yeah, doing that stuff. So, yeah, but I'm excited.
And I think it'll be one episode a week.
Like, they're gonna spread it out.
I don't think. I think
they're not gonna just drop it.
I think series going forward are kind of taking that approach.
So, are they only gonna go like Terminalist just the first book?
I think so.
And then they'll go to the next season. They'll do another book. That's how they should do it.
They're probably going to see how it performs.
I would do that. I would make one season primarily dedicated to just the Terminalist.
I mean,
and then go season 2. Then you can do, what was it, like the Devil's Hand, or is it the other one?
The second one,
Second Son?
is True Believer.
True Believer. Okay.
Yeah, and then Second Son, and then
Devil's Hand.
I'm still working my way through True Believer right now.
Oh,
yeah.
So you haven't.
I started it several months ago. I started it again when I was in Arkansas on the road.
Dude, I'm surprised it lasted that long because I blitzed through all of it.
I just haven't,
I couldn't put
preoccupied with other stuff.
It's like a puzzle for me. Like that kind of book is like, I'm not stopping till this shit's done.
Right.
And like it wasn't, and it's not one of like. There's been multiple books that I've had to like. Okay.
Well, it's like,
let me go back. Okay, what did they say? Okay, let me go. What? Okay, just keep going back and back, and it takes like, instead of, 2 or 3 days to get through, it takes like a couple weeks.
Well, with Jack Carr, it's like it takes a bit. Well, Terminalist had a pretty good clip and pacing as far as like getting me engaged.
Yeah.
The second one, however, I've had some issue just because I haven't been completely focused, but I'm gonna have to kind of limp along until something in the plot grabs me and pulls me forward.
Well, I mean, if you went through it back to back,
because the first one was just straight up, it was like
it was carnage, dude. It was great.
It was a bit of a revenge story, so it's just like right off the tragedy happens,
dude.
You get invested in it like right there,
dude. The entire series is a revenge thing, dude. It just keeps getting layered and layered and layered, and shit just keeps going the fuck down.
And I'm in that part in True Believer now where they just started talking about the politicians. And
which one?
The Stewart was the name. Stewart
something or other, whatever.
Yeah.
If you give me like a little bit of what's going on, I'll know exactly what you're talking about. So,
and they just introduced that character, so I'm not very far into the book.
Okay, I got
it. And he's doing tracking in the fucking Australian outback stuff.
Oh yeah. Okay.
He's been he's off the sailboat. And
Yep. Yep. No, I got you.
Which that part is kind of cool because I can relate.
Wait till you get to the third book. Yeah. Then shit starts. Like the second, like dude, all the books are good. All of them. I got nothing bad to say.
Carr's
about
a good writer.
The second book,
it just takes me hard. It takes me longer to get into fiction nowadays, man. That's the thing. Like real life is that engaging.
Real life sucks.
God help me. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does. Like this.
I have interests.
Okay, well, I have a Pinterest, so it's fine. It's very Pinteresting.
Oh, and still, it feels like we're in a time now where like reality has way more drama going on. Right?
You're absolutely fucking right about that. Like some of the shit, right, like now. It's like, hold on, are we living in a book? Is this the Truman Show? I mean, like, what's going on right now?
There are times that I'm like, are we in a fucking simulation? Because I'm really starting to. I don't know. I'm starting to feel that way,
dude. Okay, hey, I'm gonna tell you something that's sometimes. And I don't know if this is just the universe calling out or if this, like, whatever it is. But in my lifetime, this is like sometimes whenever the simulation theory, and I first heard about it like a couple years ago, kind of got me thinking. Like, and this is only from one small aspect. So every time I would start dating somebody new, from the time I was 15 or 16 until now, right? Yeah. Every single time that I would start dating somebody, all like people from the past just started showing up out of the woodwork. Every single time. It's not one time where it's like, hey, I just started dating somebody new. It's been a month or whatever, and I hadn't heard from nobody. Go a few months down the road, didn't do nothing. Not like, hey,
the cast of characters start making their entrance.
And this isn't like, hey, let me just start drunk texting people or like trying to like bring somebody into the fold or do any of that other shit. It's just like, hey, I was thinking about you. Hey, but I was like, where the fuck do you like? I haven't heard from you in fucking 2 or 3 years. Yeah. And I finally want to get in a relationship, and you just start showing up. It happened to me all throughout my dating life. every single time. Like even my first girlfriend.
Yeah.
I think I was 14, 15. And a couple of girls that I would talk to in the hallways or whatever, out of nowhere, just started showing interest. And if there's like, I know that there's something that kind of goes with it. Maybe you're a little looser, a little freer. But I mean, I've pretty much been the same kind of guy. With my whole, I don't really give a shit. I'm just going to kind of do my thing. Not in a disrespectful fuck you way. Like, I'm not going to be just a dick to anyone just for funsies. It's more like, I've never really had that, oh, I'm desperate, I need somebody thing. And then whenever you get a girlfriend, that goes away and you're a little bit more loose with the opposite sex or whoever you're attracted to.
And you're just chilling.
Yeah, I was like, I've always just kind of been like, I'm just going to be this guy. Like, you couldn't tell if I had a girlfriend, a wife, or nothing. You'd have no idea because I'm just like the same thing. I don't have that. Because I understand, I've seen the desperation shit. Like when you go to bars or, you know, you go out and somebody's trying to date and they're like, you could see it written all over their face. So like they're on a date inside of a restaurant and you could just smell it. It's it's like, God, it's just desperate.
At the same time too, lately, like stuff, like I didn't think the band was going to hit me back, but they did. And it's like, oh shit, here we go, shows. And now this stuff, like, I don't know, feels like a lot of stuff has kind of picked up momentum a little. Yeah. You know, there's just more stuff to do. I have to keep a schedule now.
Well, yeah, and that's a good thing, though. But, I mean, I think that comes with, like, being in a better place in life. Because, like, I think
I cherish my rest time now.
Well, I think whenever, like, people get depressed and they don't have a lot going on, I think it feeds the negative energy to keep spiraling.
Yeah, it compounds on itself.
And then once that's gone and then things start looking up, then it goes the exact opposite.
It reverses,
It's the Saturn return.
It sure is.
It's like you turn 27.
Yeah, I'm 37 now. We're going on 38.
Getting closer.
Yeah. Well, I've certainly made some momentum.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing too. It's like I know it's taking me forever to finish the song, but I'm not a high school guy, and I'm not like a youngin' with a band, and we're just trying to crank out the songs.
And you got nothing else better to do either.
Yeah.
You got so many irons in the fires with different shit. And it's not like.
But at the same time, like, if I'm going to release something to the world, it's going to be a grown man releasing it, you know, because it's going to have all the polish that, you know.
Well, yeah.
All the resources
you got
that I
that,
can
you know,
muster.
you got that big dick energy just throwing it out there. It's like, yeah, I'm a man.
Yeah, it's bona fide. See, it's got a label. There's a sticker to go with it. You know, the type of stuff.
Dude, I went out to dinner, and it was one of my friend's birthdays, and we were doing our thing. We're hanging out. We're eating food, and I look over, and there's a girl with like all of her back showing. She's like basically wearing a bra with like a little, I don't know, fucking handkerchief kind of hanging off of it. So it's like barely covered in the belly. By the way, when did it become in vogue to just women just start showing their bellies out all the time? Yeah, that shit's annoying.
Well, the modern like bathing suit is like at least in the more upper crust of the young professionals, like around my neighborhood in the village, like the style of the day for all bathing suits. Maybe not all, but most.
Yeah.
It's like straight up showing ass. Like we're almost getting to like Brazilian cuts.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a daughter. I've had enough of that shit. But anyway, so she's wearing that. And my point is, the guy sitting across from her could give a fuck less. Yeah. He's just on his phone. I was like, hey, man, like, I ain't trying to pick up your girl, but I think you should. Like,
yeah, right.
Aren't y'all on a date? Unless that's your sister. Which I don't. I mean,
shouldn't you be giving her all the attention in the world right now?
Yeah.
Know?
Can you put? But see, and this is one thing that kind of got me at the same time, because this pandemic's over, right? It's over. We're done.
I don't know. Some people are like permanently wearing
Fuck
masks.
some people, but like it's done, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's done.
Can we get the fucking paper menus back? Because
right.
the reason I'm saying is because I was sitting there looking at that and being judgmental as shit, right? Looking at that, I'm like, I cannot fucking believe this guy's not paying attention to this fucking whatever. Yeah. But at the same time, how do you know this guy wasn't looking at the menu?
Right.
Yeah. And then I had to once that point was brought to me, it's like, oh, fuck, that's a good point.
Well, maybe he is. Shit.
And he's like, maybe he's just like trying to fuck, man. I don't know if I want a cheeseburger. Maybe I wanted some fucking
Maybe he
chicken.
wants to order for her. you know.
Yeah, but the thing is that we don't know because 3 years ago,
you can assume the story and put it together.
Yeah, you can look at it and whatever, but now it's like, hey, everything's paperless. We don't have menus anymore. Hey, if you get your camera in the fucking, which just blows me away, the fact that you just put a camera on there, and it's just like, oh, you can read the menu. How? There's no like scanner thing. It's just like it's just in the camera. It's dumb. It's anyway.
It is a scanner.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, it's stupid. But anyway, like, people are doing that, and that now it's just like, I'm looking around. You're taking away the fun of my judgment because I don't actually know what the fuck's going on. Because he could be like, hey, man, these little fucking cheese tots look good. What do you think?
These curds, that could go for some
Oh,
curds.
fucking cheese curds. Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, like, once that point was brought up, I was like, dude, okay, you know what? I would like to go back to people watching like normal again and talking shit about people. Yeah. So can you please bring the menus back out so I can't prejudge somebody for no reason?
Can we bring back 1985?
I mean, yeah.
Well, Pursuit. You can get it back if you watch Stranger Things, I guess. You know.
Yeah. Have you watched the new season? I haven't watched.
I watched like the first couple episodes, and then I caught the end. I fell asleep through a few episodes.
I did the same thing.
And I'm like, shit, I gotta go back and watch this because this is actually it ended cool.
I watched the first episode, woke up, and I got halfway through it and woke up in episode 5. I'm like, fuck.
Same thing happened to me, dude.
Like,
maybe it's in the programming. Maybe it's in the programming.
Oh, it's got like a fucking coma code in there.
Something lulls you to sleep, man.
It's just like hey, we have this special.
Only certain people can watch it.
We got a special code in there for narcolepsy. Just like, don't watch this shit while you're driving.
Or maybe it's the vaxxed versus the unvaccinated.
Oh, fuck. Well, that's not true because
although there's been a spike in blood clots.
Well, me and you, we're both on the opposite sides of that.
Oh, are you vaxxed?
Yeah.
You got vaxxed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I got bullied into it because of my ex-wife.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, but this is like right when they were maybe a couple months after, and I said, I'm not fucking doing it. And then my daughter's stuff got brought up, and then I got peer pressured into it. So, and the thing is that in hindsight, it didn't do dick to me. And I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's been like 2 years since I got it, almost 2 years, and I'm not the picture of health, but I'm the exact same health I was before. Yeah.
Good for you.
Do you think I'm gaining weight again, or do you think I'm losing it? Because my uncle told me yesterday that he's like, "Are you losing weight again?" I was like,
"Yeah." I mean, last time I saw you, you looked like you were pretty fit. So.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
you're pretty fit.
Huh?
You're pretty fit.
Oh, I think you said you're pretty fat. Well, okay, cool. So I'm not putting it on. I'm not still losing weight.
No,
cool. Fuck
losing.
you then.
I mean, you're not. You're maintaining.
Yeah, I was just wondering because I was like, man, dude, I'm not trying to lose anymore. Like, I'm not trying to put it on, but like, I want to kind of stay here. But he's like, hey, you're losing weight again. I'm like, God damn it, no, man, I don't want to do that.
I don't know.
Okay, so I don't know if I'm ready for this, but we're gonna.
We could put it off.
No, we're gonna put it off. We're gonna get into it. There's a 6-pack in there, and I'm ready for it.
Okay.
So let me go get the beer.
Yeah.
And we're gonna dive into this. You know what? Let's take a quick break.
Okay.
Yeah, let's take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back to you.
Okay.
We'll see you in just a second there.
All right.
Hey, we're back.
We're back.
Look at that. We're the shortest of breaks.
The shortest of breaks.
I mean, it was like 9 hours, but it's fine.
Yeah, relative. No, like, yeah.
Okay.
So we're picking it back up. There we go.
Well,
we are going to talk about socialism.
And it's going to be so much fun because Marxism wins. All the races to failure.
Yeah. Granted, most of our discussion will be derived from
this book.
A book called Paul Kanger.
Yeah.
It's called The Devil and Karl Marx. I first learned about it at the beginning of lockdowns.
Yeah. You told me about it
Glenn Beck.
6 months ago.
Glenn Beck he was talking about it on his little broadcast or whatever, and then he had the author on, and it was very culturally relevant at the time. So I just like,
okay,
right.
Did he seem like? Did you watch the interview and the whole, or like?
Glenn Beck can be a little like, he's like Tim Pool, like they got the facts, okay, but they do tend to hyperbolize emotionally,
okay,
and rightly so from an emotional standpoint. But at the same time, it's like. Doesn't mean that they're wrong. Doesn't mean that those aren't the facts.
Okay, so one, you didn't hear my question.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, and two, my answer was, did you actually watch it or listen to it or whatever it was?
I listened to the whole book.
Okay.
What's a lot?
No, not that. I was talking about like the Glenn Beck thing with Paul Kanger.
Yeah, it was like a 20, 30-minute video.
Okay, so my question is,
It was a long time ago, though.
no, I mean it's fine, but like my question is, when you're listening to Paul Kanger talk, does he seem like a super religious guy, or is he just
no?
Okay,
He doesn't seem like it. I mean, he has the,
no, having religious views and just seems like, hey, by the way, every 3 seconds, this is all we're going to talk about.
Like the book is pretty dramatized by whatever actor he got to read it, which I wish he hadn't.
Yeah, because like some of like
a little bit.
The sinister like voice is like, really, is that how he?
Yeah.
Whenever he was like writing this thing or like saying it was like, and then he did this.
It's like, who's like, I want to talk to whoever's at the publishing or whoever did the production of the
you just
audiobook.
take that shit back and have the guy
can
read
y'all
it like
just
normal?
like treat this as a nonfiction book?
Yeah,
and just read it.
Just state okay.
Like
this
even
is what
even fiction doesn't get this weird.
Dude, if he was just, I mean, unless you're reading what was it, Eye of the Dragon, where they had Balky reading it.
It's fantasy.
I know, but it's like,
I mean, stuff gets exaggerated.
Yeah, but you're supposed to.
Yeah,
you're supposed
to. It's a narrative, but doing that with this hurt it actually. Kind of maybe hurt the message, which why.
Dude, that's what pushed me away from it. Like I had to put it down. I'm like, oh, come on, man. It's like watching The Office sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I love The Office, but sometimes you're watching Michael Scott do his thing. It's like, oh, I gotta go take a break, dude. This sucks.
It's just so cringe.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I guess we can both agree on the fact that the delivery or
they could have done without that part.
Because you look at the book and you're like, oh wow, it's all cited. There's like pages and pages of footnotes.
But as soon as he goes, and then the demon did, I'm like, all right, dude, chill.
It's like, come on, stop.
It's like, hold on. So every time somebody that you agree with says something, you just like, yeah. And then he was like, yeah, it's pretty bullshit. I don't really like that. But when he talks, and like, and then the woman, I'm like, all right, chill, man. I was like, come on, man. You understand that like you're gonna drive people away from your message. Like you wrote a book. Yeah. It's a good book. It's got all these sightings and sources. I didn't get to see the book because I did it on Audible.
It's got a shit ton of information.
But you saw it and you could go back and actually see where all this shit came from. So it's not just bullshit.
That's why I was like reluctant to tackle it, because I listened to the audiobook. I finished it. I was like, yeah, there's a shit ton of information here, but this is fucking weird, man. And then I looked at the book. I was like, oh fuck. Yeah, it's a tome of a novel. It's just so much information.
And it's good to tackle when you see that kind of information. It's like, all right, it's great.
It wraps up everything. Nice little package.
Yeah, but it's like, again, the dramatization. We're good, all right. Yeah. We already got enough CNN and Fox News and all that shit.
Right.
I'm done with the fucking like. This is supposed to be like an informational book and giving his opinion on whatever. Because right or wrong, you have all the information, and he's like, "Hey, this is my take on it." It's his fucking book. He can say whatever the fuck he wants. Yeah. And I agree with a lot of his positions, but whenever they started doing that shit, I'm like, please tell me the author didn't want him to do this shit. Right. Because then if Paul wanted him to specifically, if he was like, "Oh my God, that's better than I would," hell yeah, please do that. Like, all right, man, come on, dude. Yeah. I'm really hoping that's not what happened. I hope that he just took liberties and he just like, oh fuck, it's already out there. All right, I guess.
I don't know. He didn't speak to it, so I'm assuming. I mean, it got his sign of approval.
Yeah, but like I said,
through the publishing company too.
I'm hoping it's more of a reluctant. Like, I mean, he already fucking.
Well, I guess it's
fine.
Done.
I guess that's.
And in the same vein, you've also got doctors who. There was a doctor lady. She read a self-help book of hers, and she recorded it on her Apple earbuds and whatever microphone that was, and it picks up all kind of room noise, so it completely like trashes the audiobook version of her work.
He's just sitting there talking about, you hear kids, but I like poop. I'm like, oh shit.
Well, no, it was just roomy sound. It was just like
it was
recorded like you can't.
What was the book about?
It was like how to unfuck your mind or some shit.
It's like, and you need to get in a positive mind play, and you hear in the background, broccoli sucks dick. I'm like,
yeah. But no, it's like you can hear every echo in the room. It's like it's noise beating off, and then there's noise beating off the walls,
beating off to her book.
No, but
oh my God, I'm cured.
I have unfucked my
I have cleansed this room.
It's like unfuck your brain.
Yeah,
it's kind of like in that same vein of the subtle art of not giving a fuck. But even that guy had a solid production on his.
Yeah.
But this dumb lady, doctor, she writes a good psychological self-help
you
book.
Fuck it up.
And then she just trashes it by fucking just... You're a doctor. You can't drop 250 on a solid microphone.
Right.
And plug it into your laptop.
Or the publisher who fucking...
You don't even need a fucking interface for this shit now. It's got onboard preamps.
And not only that, did you not have one person listen to it? Just one? To be like, hey, dumbass. Like,
hey, can we just... I'll tell you what. Pay me $100. I'll redo it for you.
Yeah, dude, I will do this shit in a soundproof room, and shit's not going to be bouncing all over the fucking...
We could literally do it on these.
Yeah.
And we'll be fine.
Yeah. It's like, hey, man, give me your book.
Yeah.
I'm going to read some shit. And you know what I'm going to do? And then you need to meditate. And think about all the flowers. Is that a mountain? Think about penguins.
Read it like...
And their most magnificent journey.
Who's that Swedish guy that does all the documentaries or whatever? And he also did a voice on Metalocalypse.
Oh,
I forgot.
Fuck, I don't remember his name. I don't know. David Attenborough. Who knows?
No, he was in The Mandalorian. I forgot what his name was.
Swedish,
like Lars has something.
Oh,
something.
Fuck, man. Hold on. How many times did he do the
He was in the first episode.
No, not the Mandalorian, but the Metalocalypse. He only did it once.
No, he was like a voice. He was a voice on several episodes.
All right. Well, here
he has a very distinct voice.
Oh my god. Something just randomly got my eye for no reason. Okay. Swedish guy. I know this is very boring for you guys, but whatever.
Swedish guy.
Which one was he?
He wasn't a character. Let's see.
He was just like a narrator or something?
Yeah, kind of. He offered his vocal talents. Was
The Revengeancers.
Werner Herzog.
Oh yeah, dude. No, he's a hell of a director.
Yeah.
And what was that? What was that one thing he did? Herzog. There's something that he's like very well known for, and I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh yeah, he did Grizzly Man. Forgot about that one.
Yeah. Werner Herzog.
Hold on.
I think that's his name.
He was the bad guy in Jack Reacher.
Oh, was he?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see Jack Reacher.
Yeah, dude. No, like, yeah, that guy was...
Yeah, he has a very distinct voice. Like,
No, he does.
Yeah.
He's got a distinct voice like the guy from the Nazi movie. I know that doesn't narrow it down. The one with Brad Pitt.
Oh, Inglourious Basterds?
Yeah. That guy, Christopher
Waltz.
Yeah. I'm talking about distinct voice.
Yeah.
Like, you know exactly who the fuck this is.
Yeah.
Because it's very, like, it's distinct.
It's like James Earl Jones. Or
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No
one else sounds like him. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a bad guy in Jack Reacher.
Nice.
He had like one finger.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
So back to this very informative book.
Informative book about Metalocalypse and
poorly executed audiobook was. It's worth the read.
It really is. And if you can listen to it and just kind of blaze through the voices and the sinister, like, fucking demonish voice that he wants to portray when the guy's just writing some shit, whether or not it's the stupidest shit you ever heard, doesn't exactly make it like an ominous fucking demon devil thing. It just, sometimes people are just stupid.
Yeah.
Like Karl Marx, right? All right, let's get into it.
Yeah.
All right, so talking about just, first off, why anybody would even listen to this son of a bitch. Yeah. And somehow like not discredit him immediately.
Somehow his ideas
has like permeated through the fucking like
ages,
the last like 150 years.
Well, he distilled a lot of ideas from the French Revolution too.
Yeah. You know, let him eat cake or whatever.
Yeah. Well, an uprising of the proletariat.
Yeah.
You know,
which I just found out it means the working class. I got halfway through the book and had no idea what that word meant.
Yeah. And another terminology is plebs and patricians from the Roman times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, how anybody could Listen to one word out of this loser's mouth.
Yeah.
Okay, forget like his poems and fictions, and it was funny while they were depicting it, and just like, and this is what he really meant. And blah.
Well, he
was
was a fan of Goethe's Faust.
Yeah.
Faust.
Yeah.
And even Peterson has commentated on that.
Yeah.
You know.
But the fact that the guy didn't work pretty much a day in his life, except writing in a room, letting his children starve.
Yep. And drinking too much.
Didn't provide for his family, was a fucking the biggest mooch of all time.
Yeah.
I have never, like, out of all the fiction and all the people I've known throughout my entire life, I have never heard of a mooch like this.
Yeah, he's just king of them.
What is it? Engel. Was it Engel where his like girlfriend died?
Engels, yeah.
Yeah, it was his girlfriend or like.
Yeah, he writes him a letter. Saying,
he writes
sorry about your girlfriend died. Could you send me some money?
Yeah, so like pretty much.
Effectively.
They said there was like a couple of lines. I don't remember the exact number. A couple of lines about, hey, I feel bad for you. That sucks. Blah blah blah. And then there was like a paragraph or two of us like, you know, my kids need food, and I could use some money, and I could use this, and we need this, and complaining and bitching, and just like, oh, but I need money. Like, go get a fucking job for someone who's talking about someone talking about the working class and how we need, you know, we need to rise up, and this should be about materialism, and we should be working, and nobody's among, you know, bigger than the workers. It's like, you didn't do a fucking thing.
Yeah.
You just wrote some bullshit ass shit in a fucking smelly ass room. They said police will go to his house and check on do welfare checks on the family.
Because he stank.
And it was the shittiest, stinkiest fucking hoarder's piece of shit they've ever run in. Maybe not hoarder, but it was nasty.
Yeah, he's like your first hipster, man. That's what I've always thought. I was like, dude, he's like the original hipster.
Dude, he was like an entitled, poor, fucking lazy douchebag.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, by the way, your fucking words that first of all, you got a book deal for some stupid ass reason. Whoever thought that was a good idea is a fucking moron. But anyway, people get to write books on all kinds of stupid shit. Whatever.
Yeah,
maybe they thought when they got the first draft, like, oh, he's writing some fucking stupid ass fiction that's like a farce. This is gonna be fun. And it's like, oh, he means this shit. Oh, crap.
But at the same time, it's just like, I don't know. It's like, why were these bad ideas allowed to survive?
But even then, like, he writes this book, and then how long did he skip the deadline? For like a decade?
I don't know. I didn't catch that.
For years and years, like, they gave him a deadline, and he's like, blew right past it. Kind of like Tom O'Neill.
Yeah.
But Tom O'Neill did it for a good reason when he was writing Chaos. Mm-hmm. He was like, this is a small little article, and 20 years later, hey, by the way, you're going to get a fucking amazing book.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big...
And it's another... fucking,
and it debunks all the original books,
and it's all cited, and it's got all this other shit. It's like, holy fuck, this shit's all real.
Yeah, I need to go back and finish that one.
Yeah, you should. It's great, dude. It's a great book, and it fucking ends like it's good. Anyway, but yeah, like the guy blew past his deadline, didn't see a fucking dime of his work.
Nope, neither did his children because they were all dead.
Yeah, or they fucking killed themselves.
Yep.
Like. There was like, what, 2 of his daughters were in suicide pacts?
Yeah, with their husbands.
Yeah, at least
their husbands were dedicated to the cause as well.
Which is well, one was.
One was, yeah.
One was, and the other one was just like, I mean, I guess. And then he ended up saying, you know, yeah, you're right. Let's kill ourselves. And his daughter killed herself, and then he's like, yeah, that was dumb. And he's just like, all right, I'm gonna go on with my life. Fuck this. Anyways, but all the children.
You go down that rabbit hole. It's just like nothing but darkness and shit.
But one thing that gets me about this is like, I think the turning point in him as a person, they said, is when his first son died. Like he kind of flipped, and he just kind of
got taken by resentment.
Yeah, I mean, he was still a lazy piece of shit, but like he got worse as a person.
He just downward spiral.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, and just so again, a guy who doesn't take care of his family, who didn't work, who didn't do shit, was just a lazy sack of shit, mooching off everybody, mooching off his parents.
Yep.
Late into his life.
Yep.
I mean, it's different if you're mooching off your parents while you're going to college and you're 20.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Or you're working for the family business. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's understandable if you're doing it that way, but you're not doing that shit. You're just writing some stupid ass bullshit nobody cares about.
You're not producing an income. You're not helping produce revenue.
Yeah, so somebody who's all about the proletariat who contributed nothing to the fucking proletariat.
Doesn't understand, like, you know,
a hard day's work.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, my hands
It
are so
doesn't
tired.
really
I was
understand
writing
the
so much.
concept of seizing the means of production away from the owners of property and all that stuff. And it's just like bad.
So again,
bad ideas.
Listening to anybody like this, why? How did it even get off the ground?
Well, I mean, it worked for Soviet Russia. You know, I mean, they picked up
nailed it.
They took it, they ran with it, and they reconfigured it to kind of apply to.
Yeah, that's what.
And that the Soviet Union lasted a long fucking time.
Yeah, but you know what? Lots of people last a long time with like a lot of people live long lives being stupid as shit. So,
but at the end of the day, I mean, that's kind of what brings us to now.
But I think I think what happened there is that Marx was writing all this bullshit and whatever just because he's fucking stupid and thinking any of this shit was a good idea.
Yeah. And
then I think Lenin took the fucking ball and talk about scoring touchdowns. I mean, he ran with this motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by touchdowns, I mean like fucking.
Well, it was also a group of people. It was like Trotsky and Lenin and then Stalin. Like they all got together.
Yeah, Stalin just jumped the fucking. What a bandwagon jumper! Jesus Christ, dude.
But he was a true believer too.
And I don't get it. It didn't make any sense. The thing is that you say true believer. Yeah. I think he took this idea and implemented it because he knew that it would make just like, lots of fucking shitty countries. I don't think he knew it would make a shitty country. No. I'm talking about like how like countries, like some shitty countries are ran like by their the higher echelon people, is that they get these little groups of people that have all the power and all the money, and they convince them of this grand idea how everybody should be the same. I mean, except for us. But I mean, everybody else. Everybody.
Centralize the power structure.
Yeah. So you have this small group of people who have all the fucking power, and everyone else has nothing.
It's like somebody has said like communism or socialism works for 5 people.
Yeah.
And, the bigger it gets, it still works for the same 5 people.
Yeah.
Look at Venezuela now.
Yeah.
We just had Biden go over there and ask them or talking about removing the oil sanctions, so Venezuela can now sell oil to European countries.
Oh, that's genius.
And in exchange for I guess
a percentage,
maybe, or exporting oil to the U.S. I don't know the details.
No, thank you.
I get so pissed. I don't really want to look at it too hard, frankly. I'm to the point where I just can't even listen to that man talk.
Either way. So again, the fact that this idea even got off the ground is just astounding.
And it didn't. It failed. It failed on the world stage.
Yeah, and it literally has continually failed.
Through the economics of all of it, like it failed. It fundamentally failed, yet somehow we still have Venezuela do what it did. And then you had, the Central American countries like Guatemala. Guatemala made some form of socialism work, but that was because they were literally that's where we get the term banana republic.
Yeah.
Because the whole economy homogenized itself into the exportation of bananas.
Yeah. But that's the thing is it's a very rare example.
Right.
That you can't use on a grander scale.
One commodity.
Yeah, because but as the United States goes, because obviously we're not, but or not even that, even Russia, you're too big for that to work. Yeah. I could understand you see it in a very small community, because I mean that's pretty much what it is. You're not talking about tens and tens of millions of people in Guatemala.
It's like the metaphor is, it's like if at the familial level, yes, if you have a family unit, yes, it's essentially a dictatorship.
Because everybody benefits from chipping in. Everybody.
Yeah. And one person or 1 or 2 people make the calls for what goes in the family.
And what is that? What is that number? Is it Maslow? No, not Maslow. That's a hierarchy. It's somebody's number, and it's like 150 people like that could actually run a government without shit going sideways. I can't remember the fucking number. They talked about it on Joe Rogan 100 times.
Anyway, but no, like. It failed economically on the world stage, but I think, judging from what I've read in the book, what we've lived through, and my perspective on
pure
evidence, and just what I've witnessed happen over the past since I really started paying attention. since about 2017. It's 2017. Talking about better.
27 tweens.
27 twin. 27 twin.
I know who
I
you
started
like.
paying attention. 27 twin.
Yeah. Good at 20 tweens.
Twin here and there. Anyways, no, I started paying attention, and okay, based on that assessment, it's just like it looks like, based on what they said in this book as well, and everything that I was like paying attention to, just the social change that happened real fast. Looks like they just substituted economics for culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, culture, and that means religion too.
Okay, and
then identity.
This is the question that
as
I
it
asked you
pertains to
before.
all that stuff.
So it's they're doing the culture wars and doing all this shit, which is a big proponent of this.
That
because
shit really, if you want to get technical, that shit really started in the '60s here in
Yeah.
America. I mean, it ramped up. I mean, you had McCarthyism during the, well, that was during
that
the
was the
60s.
50s.
That was the 50s, but in the 1920s, that's when. I mean, there. It has been suggested that Hollywood itself was always a communist entity.
Yes, I've heard that. Okay, speaking of, I'm speaking of the 20s. When did Lenin take power?
We'd have to. It was in the early 1900s.
Yeah,
the beginning, like right after the turn of the century.
Yeah, because he was around during the World War One.
Well, that's the old Google.
Okay, Tsar Nicholas II, when he got murdered, did he get killed by Franz Ferdinand, or was he part of?
Franz Ferdinand was the one that got shot.
That's right.
Archduke Franz Ferdinand. He got shot.
That's right.
And that's what led us to World War One.
Yes. No. I knew that. That was 1914. But
1917. He served as the first, according to Wikipedia.
So he was at the tail end of World War One.
First and founding head of the government of Soviet Russia from 1917 to 1924.
And then after 24, Stalin took over.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they still had, they were pretty big on the communism up until Gorbachev, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
1989.
That's right. Year of our Lord. What up? Take down this wall.
Mr. Gorbachev, take down this wall.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm saying right now. And,
Kathy and I are still looking for Nancy and I are still looking for the other half of my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so crazy that winds have changed, but Scorpion is still relevant to this day.
Well, and the thing is, okay, so he started writing on communism, or the Communist Manifesto, in the 1840s, right? Or was it later?
It was later, 1870s, because he wrote the Communist Manifesto, and then his final, penultimate work was Capital.
Yes.
Das Kapital.
Yeah, I couldn't get through that shit. I tried.
It's one of those scholarly works. I
was right. His best-known titles are the 1848 pamphlet, The Communist Manifesto.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Wow.
So, what I'm trying to get at, because, yeah, he was born in 1818. And they said he was in his 20s when he was getting after it.
Right.
So technically he was 30 when it came out, which is so weird because he was born in Trier, Germany.
Yeah.
Right. And which is from what all accounts say, it was one of the most religious places ever. Wasn't he half Jewish or some shit like that? And then he just ended up religion sucks.
Religion is the opiate of the masses,
of the people or whatever.
Yeah, so that answers your question that you asked me over the week.
So
was he just anti-Christian? No, I think he was anti all religion.
Okay, so my question is, so in the book, they are attacking Christianity left and right. Yeah. They're talking about how religion sucks, blah blah blah. But basically, the author of this was saying how he was attacking Christianity. They were going after the Orthodox churches.
Catholic churches.
Yeah, and everything, right? So, but my question to you was it just Christianity and Judaism and all that he didn't like, or was it everything? Like Buddhism, Taoism, all that?
Here's the funny thing about all those other Eastern religions is, culturally nowadays, a lot of Marxists have kind of co-opted that stuff into it,
What do you mean co-opted into it?
Well,
Like they're bringing it into the faith?
It brings
Or into
communism and socialism and Marxism assumes that humanity can reach that state of utopia if we just
If we just give it a chance.
if we just learned our way to it, if we just became enlightened enough and became imbued with all this wisdom enough, and so all that stuff
because
all
they
that
said
stuff
that you
translates.
can't be a good Catholic. In the book, they said almost I
A
quote. 'Cause
pope
I don't
said
remember
that.
it.
A pope decreed that. Yeah.
No, well, was it a pope or was it?
It was a pope.
That said you can't be a good Marxist and a good Catholic.
Right.
Yeah.
Because inherently it talks about redistribution of both wealth and the means of production. That means taking something someone else has, by force.
By the way,
by violent overthrow.
This is a little off topic, but I'm going to circle back to where he comes into play because he comes in the book.
Yeah.
So Pope Benedict, how many Pope Benedicts have there been?
All right.
Has it been more than one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I heard that one of the Pope Benedicts was playing the shuffleboard of, like the guest.
15. There have been 15 Pope Benedicts.
Okay, so one of them, because I didn't catch which one he was talking about, moved one of the Catholic priests, and then this guy ended up molesting a bunch of deaf kids.
Yep, a lot of shady shit happened.
I don't remember which Pope Benedict he was talking about. If it was the new one, the latest one, which is Joseph Ratzinger or whatever his name is. The last one, the one that the German one they called him.
John Paul the.
No, John Paul II was before Joseph Ratzinger.
Okay. Oh no.
So, but they called him Pope Benedict as well. And I don't know if he's the one that they're talking about because they reference Ratzinger in the book when he was studying and whatever, and he's talking about communism. And
I'll have to go back. I should have brought it with me. I didn't.
No, it's fine. It was fine.
We'll tackle that in part 2.
Yeah, but I was just trying to figure out if that's the one they were talking about. It's like, hey man, I'm all about listening to what you got to say, but if you're the guy that kind of moved a child molester priest and to go fiddle with a bunch of 100 deaf kids, if that number was correct, I'm gonna take what you say with a real big grain of salt,
right?
Because that right there, being a father, it's had you not just kind of go beat him outside with a water hose,
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of hard to because it's okay, well, let me look at everything that the book is saying. This book is saying, and then let me look at the history of allegations of abuse. Let me look at all that stuff and sort through that.
Well, so it's more okay, it can be two separate things, but at the same time, is all the things that were said in the different people, from the Catholic Church.
I have to verify who said that in the book,
and then go and jump into
cross-reference the
because if everybody that he referenced, is not exactly squeaky clean, because nobody's squeaky clean.
No, I know.
But if they don't have fucking crazy shit like that in their past, I'm gonna listen to you.
Yeah.
But if you got that, it's okay, well, maybe I'm not gonna listen to that guy. Yeah. Let's see what the other guys have. Okay, they're all good people. All right, I'm good with that.
That's the problem with taking kind of a Catholic position or Catholic perspective on a lot of stuff. Is because it's already.
I mean, shit. There's abuse in everything.
Yes, there is.
But anyway, going back to the book. So with my question was did he just hate all religion, or was it Christianity? Because
I think he specifically had any kind of. He probably wouldn't have given a shit about Eastern religions.
Well, Hinduism, Islam.
I don't think he would. Islam probably. I mean, technically,
because Islam's been around forever.
Yeah. Well,
it's
not near as long as the other monotheistic religions, but I think
but it's been around.
He probably would have had an aversion or a hatred for Islam just as much as he did Judaism and Christianity. When did
Mormonism come in? Because that was in the 1800s, wasn't
1800s.
it? Yeah. When they just start making.
Oh, there's a messed up documentary on Netflix you ought to check out. It's called
Death of the Mormons.
No, it was about the
bombing.
No.
Oh no! Yeah, there's another.
No, this one goes into the polygamy bullshit. This one corrupt guy. It was the fundamentalist, the FLDS, the Fundamentalist Latter-day Saints Church.
Yeah,
fucked up stuff. Human trafficking.
Do you remember what the documentary is called?
It's called it's.
Okay, well, yeah,
it's in my history.
Yeah, because there was one. It was Death of a Mormon or something like that. That was wild.
It's got kind of a weird, creepy title. It's called let's see.
Oh, Pete. I don't know. Yeah, but like while you're looking that up, my main thing was like trying to figure out, if this guy was centrally just like, I hate this specific part of religion.
Murder Among Mormons. Eh?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
No, that's not the one, but
that's the
first one that came up my feed. Keep sweet, pray and obey.
That sounds real shitty right off the bat.
It sounds horrible. It's like, oh my God.
Oh, no.
Priscilla would have watched it.
Yeah. So, anyway,
worth the watch. Keep you interested.
Yeah.
Real culty.
Yeah, that other one that I told you about, that was fucked up, too. Anyway, we'll get into that. We'll talk shit about Mormons next time.
Yeah.
So,
but that's the thing. I mean, like, Marxism in and of itself becomes a cult. Like, it becomes its own type of religion.
Well, and just like you said, like the whole economic thing, it was an automatic, systematic failure.
Loser.
Right off the fucking bat. Yeah. Fuck loser. Has never been a winner.
That's right.
I called him that to the face.
Except for, Rocky IV, but,
I mean, loser. I mean, he beat Apollo Creed, but...
yeah, he was a champion for half the movie.
Yeah. But half
communism won, but they had to cheat.
But guess what?
They had to cheat.
He won. He had 2 fights. Fucking batting 50. Yeah. Batting 500, man. Because, like, Rocky came out there like, if you can change, and I can change, we all can change. Get the fuck out. It was like, hold on. What were you trying to do here? Were you trying to make a propaganda movie for capitalism? It's great.
Yeah, right.
Fuck communism. Yeah. That's what he was saying. Yeah. Then they all started clapping.
It was the 80s, man. Like,
Ivan Drago's lady, fucking Bridget Nielsen just said, fuck you, I'm out. Turns out in fucking Creed 2, you find out what really happened. She, like, whenever he lost that fight, Ivan Drago, like, lost his notoriety in Russia. So this is what communists get you. And then Bridget Nielsen ends up saying, well, fuck you, loser. I don't fuck with losers. Yeah. Ivan's like, hey, man, you couldn't have fought again? It's like, you lost one fight and said, fuck this, I quit.
You just, made a comeback.
Yeah, dude, like, fucking people fucking...
Mike Tyson, come on, man.
He lost like 6 or 7 times.
Yeah. He's still at it doing stuff.
I mean,
God bless him. Hey, man, he's champion.
Yeah.
that's what they're made of. You know?
But anyway, so this, yeah, I mean, pretty much. But I mean, okay, look at Francis Ngannou. You remember those fights I showed you where that fucking monster was just knocking people out left and right?
Yeah.
I showed you this like a year ago.
Yeah.
That guy, he lost. He's lost a couple of fights. You'd think that motherfucker would never lose anything. He lost, and guess what? He's a heavyweight champ right now. And I don't see anybody stopping him. But, I mean, doesn't mean that you can't. Another thing, in his story, he was in Cameroon, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he ran away like 7 times trying to escape wherever. I think it's Cameroon, wherever it was. One of those, whatever place it was.
Say his name clearly, so when I'm
Francis Ngannou.
Ngannou. Okay, so
yes.
when I'm making notes, topics.
Well, so he ended up trying to escape because he grew up in a salt mine, right? As a young kid, he worked in a salt mine. He said, "Fuck this, I'm out of here." Obviously, I'm, shortening this up, but. Paraphrasing a lot, but he said, fuck this, I'm out of here. I'm going to go to France or where the fuck he was going to go. And he tried to escape like 7 times, and he got maybe 8 times, and I think he got caught 7. Yeah. And they kept sending him right back. He kept trying. Lordy. So just because you failed doesn't mean you keep going. You couldn't keep doing it. That's how communism works. Kept failing and failing. It's like, hey, man, we're going to do it. We're going to find the right method.
We're going to win. We're
going to do this. So, he's like, you know what? Money doesn't work. I know the method. Culture.
Yes.
And we're going to start...
Identity politics.
Identity politics, yes. But identity politics was part of Roman culture, too. It's got nothing to do with communism.
Yeah. Well...
I wonder if Karl Marx... But, I mean, honestly, I don't know if Karl Marx even had the cultural shit in mind.
Well...
I think that took out a life of its own.
Well, he also kind of... Yeah, I mean, he came from... At that time in the world... I mean, that was before...
There was only 2 genders?
Well, yes. Yeah. But before, like, at that time in the world, as culture was developing across countries, like, cultures were homogenous,
Yeah.
Despite the fact the United
Despite,
States,
like, our USA fucking
USA has essentially always been multicultural. Yeah. Just like inherently.
It's so funny. Like you ever see like the Olympic teams, and they're all homogenous. And you see us like, okay, what?
What? And that's part of it. You know,
it's like okay,
it's like diversity.
Who's on this team?
Diversity, when it's not forced, is really our strength.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we kind of killed it.
Yeah. But
until we start bringing culture and other bullshit.
Because he only saw the world from his little shithole in Russia. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And the thing is he wasn't even Germany. He was in France.
And Germany, and that part of Eastern Europe.
Yeah, no, because he was in Germany, and then he left, and he was in France for a long time too. It's like, okay, hold on, when did you get to Russia?
That was post World War I, so it's like, well,
no, he didn't. Like he didn't even. He died in like 1880.
Right. Okay, so it was prior to World War I. But
yeah, because I don't understand how Russians picked this shit up, because I don't even think he even made it to Russia.
Well,
because he was born in Germany, he lived in France for a really long time, and then he died in England.
Well, it started grabbing a foothold, like right after World War I, during and after World War I.
That's true, but again, Marx was in none of those countries. He wasn't in Russia at all.
No, but I mean, like, he managed to. I mean, Lenin was at his funeral.
Yes.
So Lenin was a true believer by that time, and Lenin was the one that essentially carried the torch forward after he died.
True, and he fucking, that's why he coined it Marxist-Leninist.
Yeah,
or Leninism.
And Lenin himself was the one that said communism is the ultimate goal. And to my understanding, socialism is the system of government, I guess, but communism ultimately is what becomes the final form of it.
Yeah.
In the sense that that's the hierarchy that asserts itself over the underlying socialistic structure. That's my best understanding of it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I was,
and that's why it ends up in a dictatorship.
Yeah, I was sitting here trying to go through and like look at his like biography stuff to see if I honestly don't even think he was in Russia.
Right.
Which is so wild to me.
Yeah.
So we're like the communist footholds.
Mostly Germany and France, you know.
Yeah, and then like I said, and then he died in England. So I was like, where the fuck did Russia come into play? Some guy like, hey man, I heard some communist shit. It's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, you can fit. It's not that far. It's not that far in relation.
True.
You know.
No, it's not. But I'm just saying, it's like, how did this Russian government think that, man, this is the greatest idea from a guy that didn't even come from there?
Well, you had the printing press. I mean, media was transferable.
Do not bring fucking Johann Gutenberg into
I'm not. No, I'm just objectively, like, that was how media was distributed. You know, you had bookstores. If you wrote something that got published, it got distributed.
Where was Gutenberg from?
Germany.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 1500s. But he wasn't the first one to come up with the printing press. I mean, the Chinese and Japanese and other cultures had their own version of it. He just kind of streamlined the idea and was able to get things mass produced.
Yeah, I don't even see him being anywhere in there. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure. I was like, wait, how did it make it over there? Like, I understand that it's not that far, but it's like, out of all the places that he lived and worked and all this stuff that it came from, it's like, why there?
At the same time, you also had Hitler kind of.
Yeah, but Hitler was a socialist.
Yeah,
but that's a different. I mean, it's different.
Okay, National Socialism was the government that or the fascism, the German fascism, because there is a distinction.
There is a distinction between fascism
Italian
and communism.
fascism and German fascism. It's like German fascism is like little f. Italian fascism is big F.
Yeah.
So
for fucking
things get more complicated. It's like the harder you stare a microscope into anything, the more complicated it becomes.
Yeah.
And
yeah, but look how long that lasted.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, Mussolini fucking kind of fucked the dog on that one.
Yeah. But though you did have the government of Germany pretty much taking over the means of production. I mean, they merged with the corporations. Like, for all blanket statements like fascism inherently means it's the government and corporations become one.
Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
and as I say that, I kind of feel like United States has kind of, to a degree, become that.
So, you mean Amazon?
Well, Amazon,
Google.
Facebook, Google, everything, they all have a hard left bias. I mean,
What would it be
and
like
even
if-
Jeff Bezos may not be a Republican or
I don't think he's
Democrat.
anything. He's like, hey,
nothing.
man.
He's just like a
Honestly, I think for
he's
him,
just a super rich guy.
I think he just
you
like,
know?
because I mean, you see, like when he
Because-
first got Amazon, he started making this shit up, and he has this little office. Like, hey man, cool, I'm gonna
Because
hang out
there-
my Tercel or whatever.
There
the fuck
comes
he's
a
driving.
point where you reach a status.
And then everybody just loved his shit.
But it comes a point where you reach a level of success, status, and wealth where government doesn't apply to you anymore.
But is that really his problem? Like, I can't blame the guy. The thing is like,
As meritocracies go, no, I'm the last motherfucker you're gonna say, hey, yeah, we need to tax shit out of Jeff Bezos. No, you know what? I don't give a shit.
yeah.
Um,
Well, no, for me, it's like the thing is that where he started,
Yeah.
he was at our level,
right? No, he
and
developed
he
a
just
platform
and he
for
had a
20
cool
years.
idea, and he's like, you know what? Let's just see if this works.
He developed a platform for 20, 30 years. But at the same time, like, the only thing I really do have a problem with as it pertains to Amazon is how Amazon was allowed to stay open when, or not that it was allowed to stay open. They had the infrastructure to do business.
I don't agree with you on that one.
When they shut down a whole economy, though.
I get it, but the
You
thing
know.
is if
It wasn't worth shutting down the economy.
no, it wasn't worth shutting down the. Now, if there is no conspiracy behind it, which I'm not exactly sure there isn't,
Yeah.
as far as that goes, but let's just for devil's advocate, right? Let's say that there was no conspiracy, just shit happened, and it's just how it fell, right? Because we'll go the other way with it. But
I mean, here's the
How
thing.
is that-
They would not have shut things down if we didn't have things like Amazon in place. Yeah, no,
that-
I mean,
maybe
for better or ill.
okay,
It's like for better or ill, the only way they were effectively able to convince people to shut everything down is because we had things in place like Amazon.
okay, possibly yes. All right, I'm not disagreeing with you, but my thing is, let's say I'm the one who created Amazon, right? I'm fucking Greg Bezos. Fuck it. And I go out. I just came out with this cool idea. It's like, hey man, I'm gonna sell some books online. It's gonna be sweet. And it just started morphing into shit. And it turns out, hey, I could just start selling all kinds of just random shit. People think it's great. Cool. All right.
Pretty soon, I got my own logistics.
I'm gonna do my own thing. This is great.
Pretty soon, I've got distribution centers
And it just like,
everywhere.
and it's like fucking like I'm just people want this shit. All right.
I have one store that everyone goes to.
Yeah. And I'm just like, hey man, like I just made this fucking thing. You didn't have to buy this shit. Y'all wanted this. Cool. And all you did was just make me rich, and you made my company awesome, and it's going to be around for a long time.
Yeah.
Anyway, shit goes
That
sideways.
don't make me mad.
No. I know. I'm not saying that. I'm just talking about just in perspective. So like, shit goes sideways. Yes, the infrastructure's there just because it's something I built 20 years beforehand, and it just turned into this. Is it my problem that like shit went sideways and then people want to use my? It's not his problem.
Not at all. No.
Now, if
That's not what I was saying.
no, I know, and I'm just saying like when people try, well, look at what he did. He didn't do shit. He just made something that he made a long time ago, and it just turned out fucking people want to use it, and it was there in place. Now I understand your perspective that if that wasn't there and they didn't have that, they probably wouldn't have shut everything down.
Right.
Yeah. Now, on the other side of the coin, do you think that they, like, let's say that, which is a random conspiracy theory, is that they shut shit down to close down random competing businesses so they can monopolize
Well,
a
I mean-
single industry where people are more likely to do this. And you know what?
wait.
How many fucking neighbors do you think around here
Well, you
have Amazon packages shipped to their door? Way more than they did
right.
than 3 years ago.
Probably way more.
Way more.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing too. You look at a perspective from the World
I
Economic
still like
Forum.
Amazon.
The world, right? I mean,
Very handy.
I got supplements that come all the time.
Yeah, me too. I get all my heroin from Amazon. It's pretty great. Thanks, Jeff.
Amazon brand fentanyl. But no, you look at the World Economics Forum's grand agenda. It's 2030. This was an article that came out back in 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
It's like, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. But it's
Where'd that come from?
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Sounds a little.
But that is
sounds a little Trotsky to me.
Right. Oh, really? Did he say that? Well,
no, I don't know.
I don't know, bro.
I just wanted to throw out a fun little communist name.
But no, it's the moniker is you'll own.
Here, I'll take a different angle from this.
Angles, angle.
Okay.
Damn. Anyways, no, but the World Economic Forum's main moniker is you'll own nothing and be happy. But it's essentially what it means is it means that you won't own any property. You'll have no ownership of any property whatsoever, and you'll rent everything through through subscriptions and renting your living space.
You know what really sucks is that's what I'm looking at everywhere now.
Yep.
As they're buying up tracts of fucking
land,
streets, and property and houses, and they're demolishing them.
Subdivisions.
Yeah, subdivisions, and they're demolishing them just.
And
to
the
put
only
up
way you can have that, like, to a bona fide degree, is if you have a two-tier system. And the best way to do that is to eliminate the middle class, because the middle class has more upward economic mobility.
Yeah.
They're the ones that bridge the gap into they grow. And they also have competing businesses. So if you want a two-tiered system where you have your top at the elite and then you have your subjugates at the bottom that rent everything from the tops, the elite tops, well, you got to eliminate the middle class.
Which is, once you do that, that's communism.
Yeah, it's global communism.
Yeah.
That's what we're headed towards.
I mean, that's the goal, right?
Under the guise of environmental issues and
So-
net zero carbon emissions.
And the thing is that
proposed.
I'm going to tell you this. I don't blame Marx for this.
It's a seductive ideology.
No. I blame
know?
Vladimir Lenin for this.
Right.
Because Marx, it was just fucking shooting out in the street corner with a fucking bullhorn.
Yeah.
And one guy just like, you know what?
He didn't even have the energy to get out and, I don't
No.
bark.
All he did was
He just wrote it down on paper.
He would just write shit and get shit-faced.
Yeah.
That's all he did. He was a fucking consummate drunk.
Yeah.
And he would just hang out and let his family fucking starve and kill themselves.
Yeah.
Because he was sucked as a person and as a father, husband,
But his ideas,
friend,
yeah.
sucked at everything.
And
But then you get a guy who goes into power and just like, you know what? I can take this idea that's not actually mine, and I can just twist it a little bit, little tweaks, to where this will fit in, where it's technically it's communism from the Communist Manifesto. It's Marxist. I'll put my name on the back end of it, but it's they'll go.
And I'm a good orator.
Yep.
I'm an inspiring speaker.
Yeah, but technically whoever sees this shit, it's almost like a plausible deniability thing, because it's like, I didn't really come up with the idea, I just kind of ran with it. Seemed like a good idea. But the thing is, he's the one who implemented it and started fucking getting gulag crazy.
Yep.
Stalin made it way worse.
Yep.
But Lenin fucking started this train. Yeah. Marx wrote this stupid shit on there, but he was dead in 1880.
And that's really all it takes.
1883.
That's really all it takes for bad ideas to gain traction, is if you start a cult, man.
Yeah, but the thing is that nobody gave a fuck about Marx.
Right.
Nobody cared about him until way after he died. Nobody gave it two shits, because, like, okay, the entire time he was alive, you had a couple of guys who fucking thought this shit was kind of cool.
It was a little movement, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, this is great. It's not even a movement. It was just like it's a handful of people that was like, oh, this is cool. Even though they're fucking losers too. They're fucking lonely people who didn't really have anything going for him. And there's like, this guy, he has an idea. Fuck it, I'll follow this guy. And they just picked wrong. Mm-hmm. And they just follow this guy. And it's like, all right, well, they didn't do anything with the movement. They were just around to help support him. But they weren't huge advocates. And then you get a guy like Lenin who just like, hey, man, I love power. This is great. And I can get everybody under this flag, or this facade or facade. And
it's facade. You said it right the first time.
Yeah, I know. But
fucking A.
Fucking aid.
Fucking A. Fucking A.
But like
facade.
he go, of this, flag of fucking Unitarianism, like Unitarian. What is it? Unitarianism?
Unitarianism.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Like we're all one unit. We're all doing this together. But
Collectivism.
A collective. There you go. As a collective. But what he was really doing was like the fucking power of the few is going to rule over the shittiness of every the rest
what
of it.
it was, it's like, okay, yeah, it had a plan to overthrow the existing system,
And it
but
shit did.
but it didn't know what to do with it once they overthrew it.
You know what it reminds me
It
of?
was like, we'll just central plan everything. It's cool.
Yeah, we're going to centralize everything. We're all going to be great.
Yeah.
No, but you know that reminds
We'll
me of?
solve it all.
It reminds me of The Dark Knight. It's like I'm just a dog with a butt. I'm just a dog. I don't know what I'd do if I actually caught it.
Yeah.
They caught the fucking thing. It's like, I'll fucking know what to do with this shit now. It's like,
They did it.
report your family. Fuck them.
They accomplished it. Yeah, it's like, oh, anybody that speaks against the thing. Yeah. But, I mean,
And
man's nature takes over, man. You know?
I mean, yeah. Like, and the thing is, it was just
It got to the point where it
filled with corruption and bullshit.
It got
and
to the point where
hatred.
the main objective was to maintain power.
Yeah.
For the people at the top,
Uh-huh.
regardless.
And then
of,
sprinkle in some atheism, sprinkle in some fucking reporting on every family member that says anything wrong. It's basically like the Salem witch trials.
Yeah.
That's what communist was.
And ironically,
You're a witch.
And ironically, it's like Arthur Miller who wrote The Crucible.
Yeah.
He was a communist.
I mean,
And you also take,
but I mean, he's right. I'm talking about like as far as depicting like the Salem witch trial. That's exactly what communist is. Like, look at the Gulag.
He wrote The Crucible in response to the McCarthy trials during McCarthyism. They called it a witch hunt, where it's a witch hunt looking for all the communists.
Witches, talk about pot calling the kettle
But
black.
it's like it's a crazy inversion. It's like it's starting to get real meta inception-y here. You know what I mean? But I mean, at the same time,
that's what communist was.
You also had
they had a snitch program.
You had the death of a salesman, which, you know, it's a sad story about a salesman who just couldn't get the job done. And his sons,
you mean Karl Marx?
There you go. And his sons were objectively failures. So it's weird. You know, hey man,
that's Karl Marx right there, buddy. Everybody in his family was cursed.
But that
because
was Arthur
of his,
Miller,
because of
and those are like two. Those are two staples of American literature and theatrics too.
Yeah.
And
weren't you in Death of a Salesman?
I auditioned for it.
Oh, okay.
For Biff at one point.
Mm-hmm.
But ironically, when it comes to regional theater, they just want you to work for free, and you know,
communism.
You put all that time in, and you don't get much of a, you don't get much compensation for your time.
I'll say but
that.
I mean,
it's expensive to put on theater, but there's a reason why it didn't take off nationwide. So,
anywho,
or it didn't become a successful business all over the world.
Either way, you got two staples, but the Crucible thing is, dude, seriously, communism is exactly like the Salem witch trials.
Yeah,
McCarthyism that is too. Like, let's be fair.
I mean, from a conservative,
because you could just say, hey, you
can turn anything into a witch hunt.
Yeah,
and as long as it has a political motivation, you can.
Doesn't mean like Joe McCarthy was wrong, but at the same time, you spawn so many people being like, Russian spy. Yeah, he's a red. Yeah, he's a fucking commie. And it's like, oh fuck, and then but the thing is that you weren't getting thrown into the gulag either.
Right. You would just get blacklisted.
Yeah, it's like, oh okay, well cool. I guess I'm not going back to Walmart. This sucks.
But and now what do we have? We have like culturally in the United States we have a witch hunt. Like because.
Well, yeah,
I don't know. We're
it's not a witch hunt. It's more of a fucking victimization.
Things are changing. Like if you say anything against, that
it's
offends,
a victim culture.
Yeah, and
but that's a cultural shift instead of like.
And that in and of itself is also a witch hunt. You know, if you're the one if you're censored for saying anything against victim culture, or if you say anything against,
but that's fascism. That's not victimization. That's not victim culture.
No,
like shutting you down because you don't like what somebody says.
That comes from the victimhood mentality, because now victimhood is a virtue.
You know what's weird is before we started doing this shit, I didn't know what half this shit meant, and now I know this, and it pisses me off that I know it.
I know it's in your wheelhouse now.
Ugh, dude, all these stupid words.
I told you, I was like, this is what we're going into, buddy.
I know. I hate my life.
But it's I mean, what else are we going to talk about?
everything.
Sports.
Okay, first of all, I know lots of stuff.
I know you know lots of stuff, but I mean,
no, I'm kidding, dude. No, but honestly, I wanted to cover this. I really did because the direct result into his stupid fucking ideas and Lenin's.
I mean, honestly, we wouldn't be talking about this if it wasn't still culturally relevant.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, I would have liked to have. I would have talked about this anyway, even if it wasn't going to, because it's interesting.
Yeah.
Because, like, let's say that none of this was playing out and this shit died out in 1989 where it should have fucking died.
Yeah.
But whatever. That's living in a fantasy. It doesn't matter. It didn't. We both know it didn't. Yeah. But let's just say that it did. I would still want to talk about it because...
That's why I think there's a supernatural push behind it, because it's the bad idea that won't die.
I know.
And then when, at the end of the book, like...
You know, I identify as a toaster. Fucking put some Pop-Tarts in me and call me good.
But it's like...
Here's my thoughts on it. All right, so...
But it permeated the 60s, and then Aleister Crowley from...
Dude.
Like, all kinds of crazy witchcraft shit was involved.
What was that? What was that other guy?
Harry Hay.
Harry Hay, that motherfucker. That pervert.
And then I was listening to a podcast, the Christian podcast the other day, where he was talking about the history, because Harry Hay was behind, like, the gay movement during the 80s.
Okay, let's take a step back.
Yeah.
All right, because I want to go back.
Crazy territory.
No, because like, all right, so we got into him, and then we got into like how Lenin just like fucking picked up the ball and ran with it. Right?
Yeah. Well, that was a big leap across time. We did a big giant somersault across time.
It was like, and then okay, so
one thing led to another. The United States dropped 2 atomic bombs.
It's like, what was that? It's like, okay, so in the 1920s, Hitler was rejected from film school. One thing led to another.
Bad storytelling.
Oh, that's so funny. It's like, hold on, you skipped like 20 years, 30 years in there. What the hell? No, but so he comes up with this theory, this fucking pamphlet, this manifesto, ideology.
Yeah.
Comes up with it, goes into Lenin fucking somehow picks this shit up, thinks it's the bee's knees for some stupid fucking reason, which is it's not stupid to him because it's a consolidation
of power.
It's a consolidation of power.
Truth to power, man.
And so he can use this ideology.
He might have been a true
to
believer
bring to a people. Probably close to like how Hitler did whenever like the fucking World War I happened and the whole fucking the community and the whole fucking the state was just in shambles. Well, by the way, I love the word shambles.
Well, like I don't know, you get people together. You get people together as a movement, and they all feel like they're part of one bigger cause.
Like Nazi Germany. Yeah. So that's what happened.
People start to feel like they're part of something.
Yes,
and it becomes.
And then once you actually have some kind of meaning, people will come up and they will rise up and they will fight tooth and nail for some stupid shit because some dipshit thought this was going to be a good idea. What's funny about it, I wonder how many movements started off as a joke. Like, there's no fucking way they're going to believe this shit. And he just started writing shit and like, oh, fuck, this is turning into a fucking massacre. Holy shit, what happened?
Well, it goes back to when I was, it's at the same time, like when crisis happens and people start to get real scared and movements start to form as a result. It brings me back to one of the first plays I was in high school. It was based on a Twilight Zone episode. Go back and watch it. It's called The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
I used to watch Twilight Zone in Maine when I was a kid.
But what it is, it's a perfect metaphor, kind of what
you're talking about the series, not the movie.
Yeah, the series.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street.
Yeah,
and we did a little short one act where it was like, okay, aliens are coming.
Yeah,
or there was an aliens announcement, and people got real scared, and they started to think maybe my neighbor's the alien, like a deep metaphor. It was based around a crisis that happens, an unknown variable. The othering, and then all of a sudden it turns neighbor against neighbor. A riot forms.
Dude, the othering shit is insane.
Yeah, it happens,
and we're still living in it.
Yes, we are not. We're not. We just like
we'll get there.
You know,
we'll get there.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all just need some Jesus.
Yeah,
for real. We'll get there.
I mean, yeah.
Hey, you know what?
That's the one thing
we're gonna start our own.
That from happening.
We're gonna start our own crusades.
Yeah.
We're gonna figure it out.
We're just gonna bring down the solid hammer
We're gonna
of
bring
the Lord.
Jesus
We're
to
gonna bring.
everyone.
We're gonna bring down the solid.
We're gonna have the Red Cross. We're gonna be the Red Cross of murdering people in the name of Jesus.
That's my next literary adventure. Is I want to start looking at the Crusades.
Yeah, I really want to look at it because
after I get done with the Jack Carr stuff.
Yeah, I've been putting this off because like this next week is going to be Jack Carr week. Yeah, because I've read all of his books and they're so good. Yeah. I mean, they're gun porn for sure.
Gun porn.
Yeah. I mean, but like just the anyway.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've had a solid narrative of some dude taking out terrorist scumbags.
Yeah.
You know, that's what the 80s were all about.
It was great.
You know.
You remember Red Dawn? Fuck those guys.
Commando?
Yeah. Fucking Commando was the shit.
Yeah, dude. It's always about that montage scene where he fucking loads up all the gear.
Dude,
you know?
That's the best one when he's just like, shink, knife here, gun here, grenade here, this, like, bandolier. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
And then I'm going to get you, sucker made fun of it because like, he slips on the bullets. And he's like, bah, 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 bah.
You remember, what is it? Part due. Hot shots. Where he just throws the bullets at him. Like, you hear, bah, 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 bah. And he doesn't even, like, throw him hard. He's, like, almost softball throws it to him.
Good stuff.
Those are good times. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Lenin picks this shit up, makes a movement, somehow convinces everybody.
A lot of people suffering, man.
And,
well,
okay,
also,
so
that's the thing. That's another reason why I think.
Well, this pushes back into the Gulag. When did the Gulag start? Was it in the 20s during Lenin, or was it during Stalin? Well, technically, I guess it would be both because
so I did not come prepared for this talk.
Well, no, okay. So Lenin was 1917 to 1924. So he was only in power for 7 years. Stalin was in power for how long? From 24 to the 40s.
Yeah, well,
I think he died in 44, 45.
Yeah, supposedly by poisoning.
Yeah, supposedly. And then, did Khrushchev take over after him, or was he later?
20s to the mid 1950s.
Okay, so Khrushchev did take over after.
Sorry,
him.
that was the gulags. The gulag was a system of Soviet labor camps and accompanying detention and training.
So when did that start?
From the 1920s to 1950s.
Okay, so
they were building on him.
So it was maybe only Stalin, maybe. It depends on what part of the 20s, but it might have got started during Lenin time.
Yeah, effectively, you had to put people to work. You know.
Yeah, and you had labor camps, and you'd give them a tenner.
Yeah.
Just for the stupidest shit ever.
Yeah.
And then
just for saying something wrong against the
state.
And
then like how he implemented from 1917, right? Because communism like didn't really take hold into Russia until he came into power.
Yeah.
So what they were doing beforehand is a mystery, which I'm actually I want to look into that. Like I want to know what happened like in that time frame before Lenin took over. Anyway, well that's a topic for another day.
Fair enough.
But like when he took over, he implemented communism, Marxism, Leninism.
Yeah.
And then I guess after that he created a snitch program which got people into work camps.
Yep.
Because the proletariat, we all have to be a centralized working environment. Fuck religion, you can't do this. You have to
There's also a distinction with the Maoist revolution too.
Yes.
You know, it's right. That happened.
And apparently, according to Pol Pot, like according to also in this book, Pol Pot he went to France for college or whatever, and he ended up being indoctrinated, and it was like one of the worst, like, genocidal fucking things ever. Like, how many people did they kill?
Well, it always happens after the other gun confiscation, because that's like, it's like it's shortly the mass genocide starts to happen as soon as guns.
Well, what about illegal. England? They took England. They took all theirs. There was no big mass genocide. Well, unless you count the Crusades, but.
I don't know.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. That
homogenous culture? I don't know, bro.
I don't know. But I mean, like they did. What about Australia? There was no big mass genocide there.
Yeah. I don't know. Those are the two outliers in that sense.
But out of how many communist...
But at the same time,
how many communist countries were there? Because you got North Korea.
Yeah.
Vietnam. Back then. Like in the 70s. Maybe before then. 60s, 50s.
We had Vietnam.
Huh?
You had Vietnam.
Yeah.
Ho Chi Minh.
Yeah. Ho Chi Minh, also another France proponent. Dude, France sucks.
A lot of bad ideas come out of there.
A lot of fucking bad ideas come from them. You have one revolution, you just fuck up everything for everyone. And hey, thanks a lot for getting us into fucking Vietnam, by the way.
Yeah, right.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Hey, thanks for starting shit. And then fucking like, oh, well, hey.
It was the Americans with.
Yeah. Hey, come help us. Oh, hey, bye. Here's the bag. Later.
Right.
We'll leave us fucking holding the bag, and then we get blamed for the whole fucking thing, even though you started this shit. Yeah, we know what you did. we know.
Calling you out, France.
But no, so how many people did Pol Pot end up like killing? It was fucking, it was insane.
It was a lot. It was like
it was so many
killing
people.
fields, man.
yeah. What was it? It was something killing fields. What was it?
Shit. I should take notes, and then we'll recover this shit next podcast.
It was the something killing fields. God, one of these days we're gonna have some smart person on who can actually recall this shit like right away.
Well, I could recall this shit if I had done some homework, but I didn't do any homework. This homework I did was
hey, you know
last
what?
year.
First of all, hey,
I was not prepped.
I'm
for
gonna
the
pat
exam.
myself on the back. The fact that like some of this shit's coming right back.
The Khmer Rouge.
Khmer Rouge. That's what. Yeah. That was fucked. Holy shit! I looked into that a little bit, and I had to stop because I was starting to get sad.
Yeah. It's like, okay, but at the same time, like, why didn't that happen in Australia and England? Well, they weren't authoritarian regimes.
True.
That's like, those are your two ingredients. If you have an authoritarian regime and you have total gun control, well, mass genocides will follow. It's kind of like, I don't know, Canada's getting a little, poor Canada. I feel sorry for people that live in Canada now.
I know. I mean, Trudeau's such a good dude. Like, I don't get it. That handsome son of a bitch.
He just wants, a lot of people call him Castro Jr.
I mean, he's great.
He does look a lot like him.
I mean, he's pretty cool. He's a handsome son of a bitch, dude. You can't deny it. Are you going to sit there and tell me?
He just wants to protect the residents of Canada from big, loud horns.
I mean, they're loud.
They're so loud.
All right, so that gets picked up.
And full gun confiscation, too, recently.
The gulag fucking gets implemented.
Yeah.
And then that transitioned us to the Gulag Archipelago, which, holy shit, what a shit show that was.
Well, it was an archipelago of camps.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about internment camps of your own fucking people. It's not like, I mean, I will say this, and this is going to be a shitty thing to say, but it's true. Yeah. It's fucked, but it's true. Yeah. At the very least, Germany went and fucked over everybody else. They didn't fuck with their own people. Yes, there were German Jews.
Well, it's the thing. In Germany, it started to reach. It moved beyond Jews, and they started to go after homosexuals. They started.
No, I know, I understand, but they didn't.
They started to go after Catholics.
Yeah, but they're not. Well, I don't know about that one. But I'm saying is like their group. They didn't fuck with their own group. They fucked with other people. They fucked with other like shit that like, hey, you're not about.
Arguably, Russia was responsible for more genocide than Germany. So,
okay, Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, so
if we're looking at
if you're talking about like
we're looking at scoreboards,
I mean, 6 to
genocidal champs,
6 to 20. I mean, they're fucking genocidal champs. Fucking history of the world. Like, good luck beating these numbers.
Right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, hold on. What about Maoist China? How many they killed?
Yeah. That one probably takes the cake just because they've been around longer. They're still alive today.
Yeah,
they are still.
So I guess
they're still welding people in their apartments. They don't have the gulag in its own separate.
So
location.
I guess Blue Ribbon goes to China.
Your apartment becomes the gulag.
Blue Ribbon goes to Mao. Just saying. Maybe silver for Stalin.
Yeah, maybe.
So
yeah.
But anyway, so but I'm just saying. But like, At the very least. I'm not trying to find the fucking bright side like Life of Brian.
Yeah.
Look on the bright side. Anyway, but like at least they went after what they weren't, right? They were going after other people.
Yeah.
It's a piece of shit thing to do, but they didn't go after their own.
Everybody.
Russia went after their own.
Russia went after everybody.
Yeah.
It spoke dissent against the state.
Dude, they killed 20 million of their own fucking people.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, I speak fucking Russian too, man. We chill.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so fucked. And
the thing is
and
they usually go after.
And
they
this
usually
this is a guess, but
after
the majority of the people they went after did nothing.
And then, well, here's the funny thing is, like, after the regime got power, the first people they went after were the co-revolutionaries, the ones that were pushing the propaganda, because if they were the ones most likely to overthrow
and they're the ones who were trying to help.
Yeah,
it's kind of fucked. And then, okay, so going back to the book, because I mean, we're not going back, but like another part of the book that fucking sucks. So. This part of the book that really just I had to just run through as quick as I could was the Black Masses. Holy fuck, dude. I
should have reviewed those last two chapters. I didn't get a chance to.
That was a rough time because they were talking about what they would put these priests through.
Oh, the baptism in the blood and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
the blood and the shit, like literal shit, and piss.
Yeah.
Like they would crucify priests, and then all the other prisoners like that were around would relieve them.
Where did this happen?
In the book?
Yeah.
Like what chapter?
Or like what part of the world was this going on in? San Francisco?
No, I think this was Russia.
Russia. Okay.
Yeah. No, they were getting the priests and they were torturing them, getting them to try to like. Say whatever the fuck they were trying to say.
Yeah.
And what they would do is they had these Black Masses and they would consecrate Christ with, the
desecrate.
No. But this is what they're calling it. Like they're consecrating.
It's an anti-consecration.
I understand.
Yeah.
Like I understand, but I'm saying the words that they was given. I'm repeating the words back.
Okay. Maybe refer the chapter, man.
That they would do the communion. Right? Body and blood of Christ. And what they were using wasn't exactly wine and saltines.
Oh, Lordy.
Yeah. We're talking about piss and shit.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. So it was, and then there was one part of the book where they were talking about where one priest, they captured him and they were torturing him. And they wanted him to give up his ideologies, like not repent, but like say whatever the fuck they wanted to say. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, because I can't remember the exact
swear
words.
allegiance effectively to the cause.
Something like that. Well, or saying that like, hey, or like he was lying, or whatever the fuck, whatever they were trying to get him to say, they were trying to get him to say. Anyway, so they said that they would bring in nuns, like after they beat the living fuck out of this dude. And they fucked him up and did all their shit. They said, hey, you need to, say whatever we want to say. And they're like, oh, you don't want to? After we tortured you? He's like, no, I'm not going to give this up. Like, I'm not going to turn to faith or whatever. Or admit I'm a liar. Whatever they're trying to get him to say. So they would bring in nuns. And they would beat the living dog shit out of these nuns in front of him. Still, he wouldn't budge. He's not going to crack. Next thing, they brought in his son. Son comes in. And they start beating the living dog shit out of him. And he's like, and he tells his son, he's like, hey, I can't deal with this anymore. Like, this is too much. And his son, according to this book, says, don't give up the faith. Don't turn back now. I don't want a father who's going to, give up or whatever because of me. Pissed off the Russians, or not Russians, pissed off the communists that had him detained and it was torturing him. And then they pummeled him to death right in front of his own father.
Murdered him. Well, martyred him, essentially.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go back over that.
Dude, it's a rough go because I'm not going to cover this shit again. Like this parts, Yeah. So all the stuff that I'm saying.
Okay.
No. If you want to go back over it,
I'll review it for.
You review it, and if you want, I will listen.
Yeah.
But I'm just giving my take off of what I did because I can't do this more than a couple of times. I can't.
I know it's too dark.
It's hard.
It gets dark.
It's hard. Man.
It's like that's the thing. Like the deeper dive you go on this shit, and this goes out to the audience too. It's like if you really want to do your homework on Marxism, you want to do your homework on the history of where this of the fruits of this awful thing. This,
by the way, it makes me want to listen to Ozzy Osbourne again.
Really?
Because he was talking about black masses and war pigs.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder if that's what he was talking about.
Well, I mean, that was an anti-war anthem. It was talking about Vietnam and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, those songs are still good for a reason.
Yeah, they're good, but I'm just like, I wonder how much.
He also had a song called Mr. Crowley.
Yes, he did. And that was another reason I was like, I got to go back and listen to this shit because
it's one of the best solos Randy Rhoads ever did.
Yeah.
Like, kidding.
No, but at the same time, it's like there's a couple of songs in there that has references to shit that I just listened to.
Well,
in this book, and I'm like, dude, I need to listen to this album because I'm curious if he actually goes over this. It's like, man, fucking Ozzy Osbourne maybe a lot smarter than I thought he was.
Well, yeah, he was well read.
Because I know Alice Cooper was a genius, but you know. I don't sit there and think of like James Hetfield,
like all the terrible things he did to his brain. Like the dude's smart. He was a good singer in his day. Like he was.
Yeah, but that doesn't make you smart. I could be a good piano player.
He was a composer. Like he wrote those melodies that he sang.
Yeah.
He wrote.
Yeah, but again, that doesn't make you smart. That makes you talented. Being smart is a different thing.
But I mean, he was well read. Being
well read is different. Yes, I agree with you there.
I remember because I had bought the CD.
Just because I build a house doesn't mean I know the history of the fucking world.
In 7th grade, I had the CD, The Ozman Cometh.
Yeah.
And my habit when I listened to CDs back in the day, sit in the van on road trips or whatever, listen to the CD and look at the linear notes. Just sit there and, nobody does that shit anymore, but, that's what I did. And he had a commentary on each track. And he's like, when I was writing the song, I had a deck of Aleister Crowley tarot cards.
Shit.
I actually owned a deck.
That guy fucking sucks.
Yeah, he was a horrible, wicked
Let's
person.
talk about Aleister Crowley.
You want to talk about him?
Fuck him.
Yeah. Well, he's on that.
We'll talk about him and Harry Hay. Fuck him.
I need to go back and do my homework on Harry Hay, but I know a little bit about Aleister Crowley.
Let's talk about Aleister Crowley and his fucking dark bullshit.
He liked to do... He liked to dig up a lot of occult stuff from the Babylonian mystery schools. That stuff dates back to
pretty sweet,
ancient times, and he formed a few of his own cults and stuff. His face is on the cover of Sgt. Pepper's.
Dude, by the way, why does cults always end up turning into sex shit? Oh, hey, by the way, as far as like what I was talking about, just because you're talented doesn't make you smart. Yeah, it's like I think it's an old Bill Burr bit. Bill Burr bit.
Yeah,
or maybe it was him. One of the comedians.
Yeah,
I didn't come up with it.
Some comedian,
but he says, "It's like just because you can speak 10 different languages doesn't mean you're stupid. It just means a lot of people know you're dumb in a lot of different languages."
Right. But no, Aleister Crowley. Yeah, he started a few cults. Didn't
Harry Hay like fuck around with him?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they were butt buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Involved in sex magic rituals and all that crazy.
Yeah, but it was magic
stuff.
with the ICK. Apparently,
it's always technically been that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that was the first time I ever heard it. But so if it's like black magic, is it put like that? So when is it just MAGIC? Or MAGIK?
Just illusions, sleight of hand, card tricks.
But what about if it's an IK? Then what?
That usually means like the use of elemental forces to focus intentions, kind of like.
But that doesn't necessarily mean bad. But if you're going CK, then it means
shit. Yeah. I mean, well, it's all like not card tricks or anything silly like that. But when it comes to invoking energy and all kinds of new age shit,
if you've watched any of the Annabelle shit, invoking shit is bad news. Or Sinister, or any of those fucking
messing around with Ouija boards and
dude, that's Ouija. By the way, how the fuck you get Ouija out of QUIJA? How the fuck you get Ouija out of that?
It's the magical magical seeing board, man.
Yeah, it's a magical, stupid ass name for a board. It doesn't make any sense.
You get to messing around with occult stuff, and yeah, this counts for most pagan stuff. It leads you down that place. It just does. I mean, yeah, you say there's light and dark magic, but
I don't think there's any light. I think it's just all dark.
Yeah, I mean that's.
But if you go that route, what about like Jesus? I mean, him turning water into wine, isn't that magic?
Yeah, but it's. It's
not bad.
It's divine. If
I could turn water into Bud Light, I would.
It's divine from the. If you could turn water into Coors Light, like Jerry Christ. That's Jesus' brother. No, but I mean, like, the Bible kind of goes into it, man. It specifically calls out like soothsaying and necromancy and other.
Yeah, but wasn't like Lazarus? Wasn't that necromancy?
Jesus is the Son of God,
but it's still necromancy, is it not? Fuck semantics. Is that still not necromancer?
Yeah, I guess it's. I mean, if you won't get technical, but he did more of that. He healed the sick. He healed the blind.
Oh no! Don't start bringing other shit into it. Hey, I was just. I didn't say it was. Hey, I didn't say it was bad. I never said it was bad. I was just talking about the term. Isn't that technically necromancy?
I guess.
Or necrophancy.
You could call it. You could call it.
I can call it. That's what it is.
You could call it necromancy.
Oh bullshit! Well, then what would you call it?
Well, I mean, you can resurrect the dead.
That's necromancer shit.
Yeah.
It's not like.
But it usually doesn't have a twisted connotation to it. It's literally.
No, I'm just talking about the word necromancer, raising someone from the dead.
Well, no, it's death magic. That's what necromancy really means. It's death magic. Okay, yeah. For the sake of semantics, yes. What Jesus did when he raised Lazarus from the dead. Yeah. Okay. Technically, that's necromancy.
Okay, he will be on my Diablo 2 team. My necromancer.
Okay.
I mean, he's got wine. He can revive all my team back from the dead. We're gonna have a good time.
Party.
Yeah, it's gonna be good times.
Jesus likes to party.
I mean, that's how I like to envision my Jesus. With a tuxedo T-shirt,
singing for Leonard Skinner with big old angel wings, and I'm hammered drunk.
No, but like,
why do you want to turn the TV on with the stereo? Because I like to party. How do you move the volume levels with the TV and the stereo? Why do you want to listen to stereo and watch TV at the same time? Because I like to party.
Well, yeah, okay. So semantics. I mean, but yeah, it is semantics. And if you want to call it death magic, you can call it what it is. I'm just saying what he did was still raising someone from the dead. Doesn't mean I'm calling it a bad thing.
Yeah, but he's also God incarnate. So it's like you have the creator. You have the creator powers. So it's like the life.
I mean, he's the kid of the owner of the club. Let's be real.
But he's also.
Like, look at
what about the Holy Trinity? I mean, come on.
I know.
You were raised Catholic. You understand the concept of that.
I do.
So I don't think it technically counts as magic because it's.
I didn't say magic. I did not say magic.
I don't think it counts as necromancy either.
Oh, okay, cool. So you just like, we're not
going to. No, necromancy connotates conjuring.
What kind of bullshit is that? So we're like,
necromancy in essence connotates conjuring.
So I like how when he does it, it's like, let's not put labels on it. We're not going to put labels. All right. When somebody else does it,
it feels like a world of difference between like pulling a bunch of elements together to try to get some kind of weird shit happening with death stuff, and then literally calling the creationary force forward from.
Oh, bullshit. You know what he did? He pulled up the cell phone. Hey, Dad, can you bring this guy back? He's like, yeah, okay, hold on. Hey, what is he? He's in the shitter right now?
They had cell phones, huh?
Yeah. Hey, you don't know. Hey, he just like, hey, he called him collect. He's like, hey, can you bring him down? He's like, hey, as soon as he gets out of the shitter, out of the angel shitter, I'll send him back down, throw him back. And he's like, oh, hey, fuck, I'm back. God, son of a bitch. All right.
So anyway.
Okay, so apparently it's not necromancy if one guy does it, but if somebody else does it, it's a whole fucking thing.
When everybody else does it, yeah, it's necromancy.
Yeah. So
when every other human besides the Son of God does it, I think it counts as necromancy.
Such bullshit. It's like, oh my God. So
maybe I'm a little biased.
So Pet Cemetery is not necromancy?
No, that is necromancy. That is literally,
okay.
Yeah, you bury.
But bringing other people back,
something
that
dies
for no reason.
Something that dies gets buried on an ancient Indian burial ground where the ground is fucking
Sorry if
sour.
there was Indians back in fucking 33 AD.
You bury someone in a Micmac burial ground.
In the fucking
and then it
in
comes
a
back.
burial ground.
It comes back. It comes back, and it's a spoiled. The soul is spoiled, and It's
okay. Sorry, it wasn't in the right fucking place for you.
It's still necromancy. I mean, that's necromancy.
Okay.
Sure.
Well, next time they should bury him in a fucking boulder, and it'll be all right.
It was buried in a boulder.
Yeah, it was buried behind a boulder.
Okay.
I mean, that's where he was. Okay, where was
he? Was buried in a tomb.
Oh, no, I'm thinking of Jesus.
He was buried in a tomb
I'm
of Joseph of
Jesus
Arimathea.
that had the big boulder in front of his tomb.
Yes, the stone was. It was a circular covering.
Yeah.
That was rolled away.
Yeah, it was kind of like Raiders of the Lost Ark. They just kind of rolled it off.
Yeah.
Break the wrist, walk away. Break the wrist, walk away.
Yes. Okay. So we were talking about Aleister Crowley and Ozzy Osbourne. Like. Just getting into it, man.
Sorry, sorry to bring up non-necromancer Jesus.
No, but yeah, Aleister Crowley was like he's been referred to as the wickedest man in the world. He was into some occult shit.
That's what they said in the book too.
He's responsible for
Ouija's.
He's responsible for a lot of New Age foundational stuff that still carries forward in today. Between
is there any
the Kabbalah stuff?
Wasn't that a character in fucking Mortal Kombat? No, Cabal. That's what it was.
Cabal. But no, Kabbalah, which was supposedly Jewish mysticism, but that goes into I don't know.
They have fucking
still messing around. Still messing around with it.
Seriously, what? All bullshit aside, what's a Kabbalah?
Kabbalah is it's rooted in Jewish mysticism, but it also goes back to pagan New Age enlightenment levels.
Emo pagans.
Well. If you look at the band Tool, they have the Kabbalah tree of life as one of their major symbols.
I didn't even know that's what it was.
Yeah, it's the
so what does Kabbalism do? What are the Kabbalahs?
It's a way to focus intention and will.
Sounds like a weird basketball team. Anyway,
it's kind of a New Age belief way system thing where you focus intention and you are divine spirit, blah blah blah. So you have the power to.
I feel like
there's
a lot in that blah 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 that I'd like to understand. So explain this blah blah blah.
Well, there's different spheres of enlightenment. It's all comes from intention and meditation and all that weird stuff.
How does that sound bad?
It's not. But it essentially posits that we can create we can manifest things.
Kind of like the Golden Guide kind of situation,
or The Secret.
Oh fuck The Secret!
I mean, it's along those.
It's not bad. It's just stupid.
I mean, it's new agey
Hey,
stuff.
you know what?
Too.
Let me go get my dream board and fucking think about being rich. Fuck off. You can kiss my ass with that bullshit.
I mean, it's along those same lines. You focus an intention. That's what magic is. I mean, you focus an intention. You bring all the right things.
Start murdering people.
You bring all the right stuff together, and then it just
I wonder what ingredients go into Kabbalah. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of hair of the dog, a little bit of Bud Light.
There's spells and stuff and the invocation of elements I mean, it's all over Tool's music.
Yeah.
They are one of the most prolific rock bands that ever were during our generation, right?
Cool. So like a Robert Johnson kind of situation.
Arguably.
Yeah. Interesting. So is he a communist?
Well, they did. It's I hope not. But at the same time, it's just
where do you think dark magic comes from? Like the earliest versions of it.
Goes back to the Babylonian mystery schools.
Okay, what happened there?
Ancient Babylon.
I love
from biblical times.
Dude, BMS is my
Tower
favorite
of Babel.
BMS is the best, dude.
Tower of Babel.
Yeah.
Any time there was a civilization that was effectively pagan,
they go talk to the tower, start babbling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the earliest precursor of it, post Noah. And then, as time went on through First and Second Kings and Chronicles, it's always the Israelites are forbidden from mixing and procreating with and marrying into the pagan pagan cultures like Babylon. And then there was
what if they fell in love? That didn't seem wrong. Hey, doesn't love conquer all?
No, it doesn't.
That's what Jesus said.
No, he didn't.
I mean, that's what I heard, so I'm sticking with it.
There is no greater love than a man that would lay down his life for his friends. That's what Jesus said.
I mean, yeah, tomato elevator.
So, but anyways, no, man. Like Kabbalah is just essentially another form of New Age paganism.
Okay, so Aleister Crowley did he create Kabbalah? Or he just was talking about it?
I mean, like I said, it originates in Jewish culture and Jewish mysticism.
What else do we know about Mr. Crowley?
He did a lot of crazy, perverted sex stuff.
Yes, he did. He was talking about like, hey, dude, I like the butt sex more than anybody. You want to see?
To try to invoke like open.
Which
doors.
One was it? Was it Crowley? Well, go ahead.
So he was Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard were both students of his.
Get the fuck out of here.
No, sir. So that's where we get Scientology. He's responsible for that. That's awesome. And Jack Parsons was.
Which one's Jack Parsons?
He was formative in rocket science.
Yeah, but no, I know the name Jack Parsons. Like, who is he a part? Like, what is he? What is
our space program? He actually started the rocket.
I thought it was the Jew guy. No, not Jew guy. The Nazi.
You mean Werner von Braun?
Yeah.
Well, he came after him.
Really?
Yeah, Jack Parsons.
So
American
Jack
engineer.
Parsons been fucking hanging out doing fucking rocket shit for a long time.
Yeah. Was an American rocket engineer, chemist, and Thelemite occultist. Thelema. The Thelema.
Okay, cool.
The cult of Thelema. That was
that
was Aleister Crowley's. That was what he started.
What was his B's and D's?
What was his what?
B's and D's. Born and dead.
1914, 1952.
So when hold on, because
associated with the California Institute.
So Werner von Braun came over in like what 46?
Yeah.
What about that would have made him?
Might have known him.
Parsons
was one of the principal founders of both the Jet Propulsion Laboratory.
Yeah, what year was that? Are you sure it was before? Because he was born in what 1914, 18.
He died at 37. Yeah, explosion.
Oh, yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. Sounds like all the bomb makers.
Inspired by it, yeah. He developed in. Okay.
Yeah, but like when did he start developing these things? Because I thought, von Braun was around for that.
He developed an interest in rocketry in his childhood, and in 1928,
these sandals are made.
Began amateur rocket experiments with his school friend Edward S. Foreman. He dropped out of Pasadena Junior College, Stanford University due to financial difficulties during the Great Depression. 1934, he united with Foreman and graduate Frank. Too much beer.
Yeah.
Graduate Frank Molina to form the Caltech-affiliated Guggenheim Aeronautical Laboratory.
I've heard about that.
Rocket research group supported by Gausset Chairman Theodore von Karman in 1939.
Yeah, that's still way before him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Following some brief involvement with Marxism in 1939, Parsons converted to Thelema, the new religious movement founded by the English occultist Aleister Crowley.
Get the fuck out of here.
Together with his first wife, Helen Northup, Parsons joined the Agape Lodge, the Californian branch of the Thelemite.
Okay, let's do this. All right, we're going to hit pause on that. Let's talk about what the fuck a Themelite is. I don't know what that is. You're saying it, but I can sit there and stare at you crazy.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
According to Wikipedia, is a Western esoteric and occult social or spiritual philosophy and new religious movement founded in the early 1900s by Aleister Crowley.
Okay, but what's it stand for?
The word thelema is the English transliteration of the Koine Greek noun
Thermopylae?
Elima, pronounced oelima, will from the verb thelo, to will, wish, want, or purpose. Oh yeah, one of the fundamental things is.
So is that like one of the secret kind of things?
Yeah, you'll notice this actually goes into modern day Satanism. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law.
Well, that's another thing about this communism shit, right?
Yeah,
it's not Satanistic. It's just atheistic. It doesn't mean like. Yeah. I'm not saying, hey, well, let's look at the bright side. They don't believe in Satan. They just don't believe in religion.
Not outwardly.
Well, because
not definitively, but
how do you know?
But at the same time, like
just because you don't believe in God doesn't mean you're not a shitty person, but it doesn't automatically mean that you believe in Satan.
But at the same time, when you leave the void of of God in your life.
It's a shitty thing, but it doesn't mean just like, hey, by the way, there's a Beelzebub
something
over here.
Like you'll notice that everybody that might be a hardcore atheist might also be really into fantasy.
True.
So you replace one mythology with another.
Yeah, but it's not mutually exclusive. What I'm saying is just because like okay, doesn't mean that like
you could try to.
No, I'm not trying to fucking
look and see that through its initial conclusion. You'll probably find out that most people that are proclaimed atheists will just as soon like have kind of some kind of pseudo spirituality when it comes to. I mean, no.
Okay, so for my money, I'm saying that people like there is no God, right? People who like, let's say the people who say that they said there is no God. I don't believe in that. Whatever. That doesn't mean hey, there's no God, but I know what there is. There's the cool guy over there. It's Lucifer just hanging out. That guy's awesome. Yeah. I don't think that they're saying that. I think they're just like, I don't believe in religion at all. No, I think when we die, and that's it.
But at some point, though, like you become the god of your reality.
Yes, but that's the golden calf situation. What is it? Was it golden calf? What is it? Golden god that? No, yeah. but I'm saying it's not like a pagan thing. It's just like I just believe myself. I'm just gonna believe what I want to believe in my own bullshit. Okay. Doesn't mean it's not wrong. Or no, yeah, doesn't mean it's not wrong. I'm just saying that like I don't think that just sitting there going like just because you don't believe in anything doesn't mean that you're a Satanist. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you also, as an atheist, though, you think that the highest good can be achieved through human means.
True, but that again, it doesn't make you a Satanist. It doesn't make you a Satanist, though.
Well, okay. I mean, not on paper.
Okay, then on what? On principle? It makes you like
technicalities.
But I'm sorry, I just don't believe that people who's like I don't like God or no, not that. It's like I don't believe in God. That doesn't mean I love Satan T-shirts are in his fucking closet.
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah,
it doesn't technically have to be.
That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying just because you don't believe in God doesn't make you a Satanist. It just means that you're just still going to go to hell just for a different reason.
It's kind of the same like ballpark though, because
is it the same?
I mean, even Satanists proclaim that they don't really believe in the true Satan.
How about this? A guy that doesn't believe in God at all, whatsoever, in a religious, Catholic, Christian aspect, guy doesn't believe in God, they're going to hell, according to them, correct? Like, has zero, like, I want no part of religion. Doesn't matter how good of a person, but I will not be saved, I will not be, whatever. According to them, you're going to hell.
If they reject it.
Yeah, they reject it. It's like, no. You could do all the right things, do all the whatever, but you reject religion completely. According to them, you're going to hell, right?
Yeah, technically would be able to do all the right things, but...
Yeah. No, but, okay, you could still be a nice person and just say, F the Savior, you know? You could still be that. You could still be a great guy, just like, I don't, like, fuck this shit. I'm not doing no part of that. You know? Doesn't mean you're going out there and just like, oh, by the way, I'm going to start punching babies just for fun. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, so that guy doesn't make you a murderer and, like, being the chick from, what's the, Bathsheba, who was, like, dedicated, like, her, like, hey, I'm going to dedicate my album to Satan. Yeah. You know, you're not that. That doesn't make you the same kind of thing.
I would dedicate my album to Satan. Yeah, right.
Yeah, those two people aren't the same people. Somebody who murders and like bathes in the blood of children and people and all that shit.
Yeah. Varying degrees.
Just because they, according to the Christian faith, they go to the same place doesn't make them the same person. Well, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, the different degrees.
Just because you get there.
Degrees of transgression is what you're
just because you get there, like, just because you end up at the same place doesn't mean you did the same shit to get there.
You're referring to degrees of transgression.
Yes.
Yeah. But, yeah.
So, yeah, this person's going to be on this level. This other person's going to be way the fuck down here. According to Dante's Inferno. Or no.
Yeah, I mean, based on that perception.
Yeah. But that's all I'm saying. Like, there's degrees.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, man, like, I like to give back to the poor. I like to do this. I like to do this.
Tartarus.
But there's no God. Like, you could be that person. And then just like, hey, you know what? I kind of like wearing people's faces for fun. There's two different people.
Yeah.
One guy's just like, hanging out. It's like, I don't like that shit. Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, one doesn't automatically make you the other.
Okay, so what? Okay, so yeah, it doesn't directly make someone a Satanist. No, not directly.
What do you mean not directly?
Not directly, not inherently, but the essence of Satanism and Luciferianism is to, tell God straight to the face that you know better.
That's kind of a leap, but yeah. I think that's a leap.
He will exalt himself above the Most High.
Yeah, but what if he's not even thinking about himself? Maybe he's just like, I'm a real humble dude. I just, I don't believe in you, but you know what? I'm gonna do shit for other people.
Okay.
Do you think an atheist who gives back to the community and does all the right things but rejects God can still make it?
I mean, find me one. We'll talk about it.
I'm just saying, like, no, in my hypothetical situation.
In the hypothetical situation, the person was like absolutely pure and didn't do all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
he just like, I don't think there's.
But that means that like no commandments broken whatsoever.
No, he didn't break any commandments. He's just like, there's no God.
Well, I mean, by that standard, technically he would kind of skate on through.
Would he just like go up there? It's like, oh, son of a bitch, I guess there is. Oh shit, my bad.
I mean, technically, by that standard, if he had broken no commandments whatsoever,
yeah.
Technically, yeah. By that standard, yeah.
Like Peter's coming over like, hey, guess who's wrong?
I'm assuming, yeah.
You know how great that would be?
I'm not one to pass judgment, so I really don't know at the end of the day.
Seriously, you know how great that would be? He dies and he goes up there and Peter's like, hey, guess who was wrong? It's like, all right. Cool. He's like, hey, by the way, hey.
Yeah.
So do you believe in us now? I was like, oh, well, yeah, obviously. He's like, cool, we got ice cream back here. Come on, let's go. Dumbass. He's like, come on. Stupid.
I mean, technically, by that standard of
I just want to see.
If he had broken no commandments his whole life, yeah, then I guess by that standard, that's the law.
Yeah. It's like he didn't fuck up. He was just like, I think you're kind of full of shit. Nah, I'm good. Like, I'm gonna do everything for all my family.
Well, no, ain't for me to judge, really.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
I can't make the call.
Well, yeah, because
it's not my job.
Yeah, like we're not up there with a book. Like, okay, so let's talk about 1987.
But but let's talk philosophically though. When you remove a concept of a God, I think human beings have a tendency to kind of replace it with something else, and I think that's really what it's all about at that time, because we're kind of built inherently with that some would argue that God space within us. You know what I mean? And when you take God from the equation, you fill it with something else. And
yeah, but the only thing is,
that's an infinite size hole, though.
Yeah, I know, because the thing is like, what's something else?
Anything else?
I know. No, I get that, but I'm like, what is it that person's choosing to fill it? Yeah. Because if it's like friends and family and community, it's not bad. It's not bad. I'm not saying it's good. Yeah, but it's not bad.
But at the same time, like, if you truly have a zero belief in like a higher good,
yeah,
then anything goes.
Yeah, but at the same point, anything could go. It doesn't mean it automatically will.
Yeah, because you naturally have a conscience. Most people,
yes. And just because you have a conscience and you listen to it and you realize, yeah, maybe I shouldn't go rob that liquor store for no reason. Maybe I shouldn't just go punch grandma because she's being stingy with her fucking candy corns. Shit like that. But I mean, if they're inherently, they listen to their conscience and do whatever, and they fill that hole of a higher power.
To kind of bring this full circle, you could arguably say that that's why we have the emergence of the school shooter.
But let's do this. I mean, if you're going
to when you have a culture that kind of propagates when you have a godless culture, well, destructive things start to happen.
Yeah, but at the same time, what about the culture? Because obviously, I'm playing
devil's advocate
of all this shit. But no, I'm just saying. But like, let's just, because if you're going off of that, what about the people that do awful shit in the name of God?
Same type of principle.
They fully believe in a higher power. They preach and do all this other stuff.
Well, that also,
but then they go and start fucking.
Well, that's in response to when you refer to an atheist who doesn't commit any sin. Like, I mean, you have men of God supposedly, and they can't resist temptation any more
Yeah.
any more
But
than
like
the
temptation is
layperson.
like, I'm not going to have another nutty bar. Not like, hey, I want to go touch that kid.
Well, that's a fallen temptation for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's terrible things.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, nutty bars are not a terrible thing, so it's different. It's just like, hey,
Varying degrees of transgression.
I said I
Here we
wouldn't
go
buy
again.
another box. I said I wouldn't, and I fucked up. I'm not going to hell for that, but you're definitely going to hell for fucking messing with deaf kids.
Yeah. I mean, it's a different type of sin.
Yes.
You know?
I'm pretty sure one's a little bit more forgiving. A little bit more.
But there are varying degrees of transgression, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bible talks about it.
It's like, man, I accidentally ran that stop sign. My bad.
But it's like,
oh, I accidentally killed those 10 people.
It's like there's a compounding nature to it. It's like you descend into lawlessness enough, you can become capable of just about anything.
Who do you think was worse, Lenin or Stalin?
No, it sounds to me like they're both in the same. Like they're on the same team.
But I mean,
they're responsible for the same stuff.
Hey, if you're picking a fucking starting point,
it's just
guard,
like who had the higher body count? I don't know.
Yeah.
No, we will never know.
We'll never know. But at the same point, Lenin started the ball rolling.
Yep, there would be no Stalin without him, and there would be no Lenin without Marx.
But did he get? No.
He just distilled the ideology into something.
Yeah, but is that
could
what
be
got
used
him into
effectively.
power?
Who, Lenin?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he certainly had an idea.
No, he had an idea, but I'm talking about like, is Marxism what actually got him elected?
I think the ideology of itself was the tool to seduce, because that's what it is. I mean, it's, on paper it speaks to the heart of the resentful proletariat class. It convinces them to join a movement and overthrow things. Like he had that to start with, and he could just literally extrapolate on that and build on those ideas, because he's smart enough to enrapture
I'm curious
a group of people
when he actually got the idea. Was it before?
We'll have to look into Lenin.
Well, yeah, but like, this is just hypothetical. Like, was it before or was it after? Because just because he got elected doesn't mean like he was like.
Oh, it was before. I mean, he was at Marx's funeral before he went into power.
Oh yeah, because he died in 1883. So that was like 30 years.
We know from history that Lenin, he had his ideas. He had his plan in place sometime in there. I gotta pee.
Yeah. Well, I guess my main thing is I'm curious. Like, yes, he was at Marx's funeral, but what I want to find out is it exactly what got him into the position he was? Because just because you have that ideology doesn't mean it wasn't suppressed in some nature. But I don't know. I mean, I wasn't there, and we really have to look into it to find out for sure. But like, what was his platform? Like, was he like, hey, like, yes, we can? Or was he, let's make Russia great again? Like, who knows? But I need to figure out, like, what is it that got him to the position he was? Because was he bringing to his, like, election campaign, like, hey, let's all be communists and be awesome? Or was it like, hey, I want to do, fucking pick a platform, whatever. And that's what he went into. And then he's like, hey, by the way, there's this cool pamphlet I fucking looked at. I mean, it's kind of old. Hear me out. It might be good. There's a cool pamphlet, But so I think you guys should listen. And, let's see how this goes. Let's give it a whirl. Let's bring it in for a real thing.
What were you talking about?
Well, what I was saying is, like, was it, yeah, he could have that ideology, but, like, is that the platform he ran on? Like, let's be communist and be cool? Or was it like, hey, I have this other platform that I'm going to run on, and this is my campaign, and then he gets in, and he's like, hey, you know what? Let's get some communist shit going. Let's do it live. Let's bring it in for the real thing. That's what I'm curious on. Is like,
did Russia's government prior to that overthrow, was it a monarchy? Was it like a constitutional monarchy, kind of like what we have in England right now?
What I'm curious about.
I believe they may have had a. See, we gotta understand Russian history to kind of put the bigger picture together.
Now we're just going down a fucking.
Yeah, no, that's the thing about this is like the study of this is a deeper look into history, and rightly so. because it all kind of it runs hand in hand. You can't look at history without looking at Marxism and socialism and stuff, you know, because they were big movements. They did a lot of damage. They shaped countries, you know.
Yeah. They ruined millions upon millions upon hundreds upon tens of lives.
Yeah.
What? I don't know.
But I mean, that's like we could do a 3-parter on this stuff.
Well, I'll put it like this. So before Lenin came in, they were. Tsar Nicholas II was right butted up against.
And then you had Rasputin and all that shit.
Well, he was during that.
Yeah.
But no, but like Tsar Nicholas, he was like their fucking, you know, their king, their emperor, if you will, until Lenin came in. Because he was out of there. He was kicked out in 1917, which is Lenin when he came in was 1917.
So they overthrew that.
They overthrew that government.
They overthrew that monarchy essentially.
Yeah.
I don't know if they had a parliament or anything.
Yeah, and then he was killed a year later.
Okay.
Which is wild. So I don't know. I mean, this whole fucking thing. That's why I'm curious about, like, when he was deposed. What they said.
There's a grander story here at play,
and I'm curious what it is. And the thing is, because I mean,
it might actually clue us in as to stuff that might apply to now. I don't know. Might.
But like, so our message of the entire day is communism is bad.
I mean, irrevocably. I mean, you can't. I mean, you know where we stand. You can't not. I mean, if you really look at it throughout history, and it's this lady. Yeah, she said her friend is from Venezuela, and she said, "How are you still defending socialism when that bullshit destroyed your whole country?"
Dude, I don't know, man. Socialism is pretty sweet. I mean, like, it worked for the Nazis.
Yeah, right.
Works for communists.
Works so well.
Yeah.
Works so hard.
I mean,
it
cool.
wins. It just wins all the time.
It's
every
cool.
time.
Workers' Party.
Yeah. Worker Party. So anyway, I don't know.
I mean, like, this book, it's a hard read.
Yeah.
It's a hard read. I mean, it's not as hard as a Gulag. Oh, and the rape in Nanking, that's way worse. That's fucking way worse.
Is that the worst? That's the blue ribbon?
Yeah. I mean,
the blue ribbon of genocide.
I mean, like, it's Gulag, because it's pretty long and very extensive, and it sucks. It sucks all the way through. And just to see what they would do to their own people.
Yeah, I couldn't get.
But the rape in Nanking, I mean, it's nowhere near as long, but it's just like, all right, you got to the point. Okay, this sucks for everyone. Yeah. And it's like, all right, well, hey, history's not fun sometimes.
Yeah, it's not.
It's like,
but the fundamental thing about Marxism is,
dude, I need to start getting into hardcore history.
Marxism proposes that humans are inherently good, and honestly, I mean, according to your theory, you are not following your theory. What do you mean? Is that you said according to communism, people are inherently good. No, I said it proposes.
Yeah, it proposes, but they're lying. Because they're absolutely not.
It proposes that humans are inherently good and capable of the highest good.
And the thing is, I think he's right. Way to fuck that up. Because I think people are inherently good. There is. I think there is a tendency for there to be some bad shit in people. Not terrible, but everybody falls. Everybody. But I'm saying is I think that people are inherently good. And just like he's saying, like he was talking about, like, hey, communist says that, people are inherently good. But the thing is that you have the worst people in history to kind of like, hey, everyone's good. By the way,
even supposedly good people get swept under a bad movement.
Yeah. But I mean,
it was a movement of the masses.
I mean, just like, Joe Rogan says sometimes, like, I start seeing people as, they're babies. Everyone was a baby. Mm. Now, how these baby, like, I don't think anybody came out of the room as Damien.
Yeah.
I think that was life. Life fucks people up.
It does.
Yeah.
I guess.
I don't know. I mean, it's just,
do
you think that, I don't know, do you think that, like, all these were, like, good kids? Like when they came out and then just life fucked them up. Like, what do you think about that?
I think the spirit of resentment got them at some point, and rightly so. Growing up as a kid, I think you go through certain stuff based on like bad luck or circumstance, and then you don't get the tools to cope or serve a greater purpose beyond yourself and all you. If you see enough suffering, not everybody, but a lot of people, it's why you have school shooters and things. I mean, that spirit of resentment is so pervasive, and it can permeate a person's will and soul, and where all they just see is anger and hatred, and they'll go so far as to do whatever terrible things that they can devise up. Say, well, suicide is my best way out, but like if suicide, there's one thing better than suicide. It's suicide plus.
Yeah.
Let me take a few people with me and get my name on the news.
Well, I guess the question that I was asking before was like, do you ever think that anyone was like, Adolf was such a good kid. What happened? He was such a nice boy. He would bring me flowers.
Yeah, he painted pretty pictures.
He was nice. He painted a cool house on the side of my mailbox. It was great.
Something broke him. And as I was saying while you were away, like, it's the spirit of resentment at some point you get into such a bad situation, or things just don't work out due to bad luck or bad circumstances, and then resentment just kind of permeates your soul, and then you just want to lash out at the world.
Do you think?
And
I think temper is learned. Do you think it's nature or nurture a temper?
It's a combination both.
If you had to lean towards one, which one would you pick? You're like, you have to put all your money. It's like, hey, somebody said, hey, there's only one right answer. It's either nature or nurture, and they're like, pick one. Which one do you think it is?
Well, you have psychopaths who are born.
Yeah.
Sociopaths are made by circumstances very often. So nurture is a big part of it, but
I think nature is honestly that's my move. I think that
you think people are born that wicked.
No, not wicked, but I'm talking about with tempers. Just tempers. Like, it doesn't mean it has to go into a fucking psychopathic rage. Just some people get more pissed off at shit than others.
Trauma can result.
It exacerbates it, but I'm talking about like a full on fuck. I've had a temper like most of my life. It doesn't go fucking crazy. It just I get pissed off at shit.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that's
but I don't know. But that's the
thing. A little bit of both, really.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, communism bad.
Communism bad. Maybe we'll talk more about this in the next episode. I don't know. We can go down a big old deep rabbit hole, and it gets real depressing and dark.
Yeah.
The further you go. I don't know. Anyways, happy Friday.
Yeah. Hey, I hope you had a good time. I hope you got some good laughs in.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and maybe if you're still subscribing to that horse shit, do a little homework, and don't just go by the fact that everybody tells you it's so great because they just haven't done it right yet.
Well, what I subscribe
because it certainly ends up in the same place.
Where there's a will, there's a way. Yeah. Communism, you know what? You'll figure it out.
I think you've ended that before.
Yeah.
Anyways, bye.
Bye, guys.
Tune back in. Oh wait, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and all that good shit.
Yeah.
Find us on Spotify.
Yeah.
Find us on Twitter soon. Sweet Lies Podcast at gmail.com. Sweet Lies Network on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe. Leave comments. Blah, blah, blah. Hit the notification bell for surprises. And
get a bumper sticker.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
We might have those one day. Anyways, bye.
Bye.